Alright, Bonnie, wagon, bro.
Niaje?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too,
Finally.
man. Then kuna blaze tu smoke.
Usijali kuna smoke machine mahali hapa. Tafadhali atatupanga. Do you believe in conspiracy theories? Any?
I believe in many things.
Okay.
So it depends which one. Because unaweza kuwa ni set up.
Set up. I think the most recent one that everyone is talking about, especially America, is aliens.
So there's other forms of life, for sure. We're not the only ones on this planet. But I think we're the most foolish ones.
Clearly. Yeah.
Because we're destroying the earth very fast. With modernization, we're destroying the world. So I think we're the most fooliest, if there's a word like that.
Yeah.
In that sense, yeah.
Does that scare you, knowing that there's definitely other life forms that clearly looks like they have technology better than we can figure out?
That doesn't scare me because I believe, so the way I believe about my life is that when my life comes to an end, I don't die, I go to the next level, which I don't know.
Okay.
So I'm hoping by living my life, I'm going to unlock the next one and the next one and the next one. This is not the end of life, my friend. When you die, that's not the end. So that's why it doesn't scare me because I believe there's other form of life and shape in other worlds.
Yeah.
So tutaingia to the other realm.
So reincarnation or no?
Nah, I don't want to come back to this world like looking like that Cherangani MP. With that toad face.
With a face only a mother can love.
He has a face only a mother can love. But his hate and the things that he say are almost devilish-like. You know, there's a lady called Kelly Murungi. She tweets under a handle called Rukikei. And she said, we call women gold diggers. But have you ever seen how men behave around men with money? Mm-hmm. And you can see with our politicians, they can be very educated, they even qualified, they were elected. But you can see how sycophantic they are around the leadership that we have in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ukisema about devilish people and things. And then I just remember something like Epstein.
So Epstein was an agent for the Mossad. He was an Israeli agent. And so there's something called CompraCraft.
Yeah.
CompraCraft is a compromising material about anyone. So in this country, there's a lot of that. It's called a honeypot. A woman beyond your league shows up, is interested. Nini, you know, you're a married man. Do you want some? Let's hang out.
Yeah.
You do drinks, nini. And then says, come to my digs. You go to the digs. They want you remove your clothes, cameras, flash, poof, poof, poof. Then you're compromised. Now, they can use that on two levels. They can use that to blackmail you to do what they want you to do or to keep you quiet. It has happened to many, many members of parliament, many politicians. There was even a chief justice who was more compromised him like that.
Why are you not saying any names today?
No. I'm not going to say names because so one of the was compromised. The daughter is a friend of mine. So I'll spare the daughter the embarrassment, and the dad is dead, so I'll not drag that. Okay. So one of the things William Tungo will tell you when he became Chief Justice, he never drank tea in his office. And also when there's a time, and I should come and tell you this story. When the time
I'd love to speak to Willie.
I'll tell him.
You connect.
Connect.
I don't know.
No, wakati Hillary Clinton alienda kwa ofisi yake. So before Hillary went to judiciary, the Secret Service came to the office to come to debug the office. They found so many bugs in his office.
Are you for real?
He was already bugged, yeah. So government operates on two levels. They operate on, they do compromise. They can compromise you in many, many ways. But they also do blackmail. And this country does a lot of blackmail to politicians.
Yeah.
For example, your favorite governor of Nairobi, the one who does no work, was blackmailed. He was told, if you do not give us the city, we're going to impeach you. And he gave away the city. It was just the same thing they did to Sonko.
Yeah.
It has happened to Sakaja.
They can force you out.
But they force you out if you have no backbone. Because, so there's a governor called Kibaki Bwana. He was Mukuru governor for 2 terms. Yeah. And he was threatened by MCAs. Oh, we are going to impeach you. He said, let's break this assembly and go back to the voters. But Sakaja can't do that. He doesn't have the the balls to do that.
Yeah.
Because he's not working, he's not performing. He knows if he go back to the elections, he's going to lose. If he goes to impeachment, he will lose. So he has to give away the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Epstein was working for Mossad, then that means the CIA knew that. And a lot of American politicians and not popular, but a lot of famous people in America were compromised. So that means it happened under the watch of the CIA.
So they knew that. So the truth is, Israel owns America.
It looks like, unfortunately.
That's the truth. So whatever Epstein was getting, this black material could be used both ways. Even they say he would use it. That's why he didn't go to jail for a long time. The first time he was arrested, he got a deal. He did less than 1 year.
Yeah, the 208 deal.
Yeah, he did a deal.
What kind of deal was that, bro?
That deal was because he had compromising material on everyone. Also, they were using him to get intel as well. So he had everyone who could say Clinton, Bill Gates, everyone was on that list.
It's so weird that because that means then they allowed kids to be sexually trafficked and assaulted just to get intel.
They look at what the Israelis do to Palestinians. They bomb women, children, they starve them, they rape them, they sodomize inmates, they do all manner of things. They do organ harvesting. You think that's beyond them? So normally they say the state is bigger than the individual. That's why they talk about collateral damage. When Bush invaded Iraq, they killed 1 million Iraqis. That doesn't count as humans for them. It's collateral.
Yeah.
They're just numbers to them. So black people, Asian people, Arab people are othered. They don't count. That's why now you look at when Ukraine, if Putin did what Israel is doing to Palestinians, Putin will be removed. Bombing schools, bombing hospitals, killing journalists, killing doctors, killing teachers.
Yeah.
Only Israel can do that. But also Israel is the one that sells technology to the rest of the world. The phones we use, the technology we use. So they have a lot of access. Look at what they did to Lebanon, Hezbollah. The guys had pages.
Yeah.
And
bro, that is still one of, I hate to say it, but one of the coolest things I've ever read. It's just in terms of how the tech that they were able to figure out with the pages.
And they worked it a long time. They had that as it's like a kamikaze. It's a suicide bomber thing.
Yeah.
That you have this thing that can only use once. So you have to wait for the right moment. So when Hezbollah was mobilizing to go to the front line, they sent an urgent message to all of them at the same time. So it was the height of war when they're supposed to deploy to go and fight Israel.
Yeah.
So they ensured that because the bomb was very small, that gadget was no longer in the waist. It is either on your face, you're reading. So they had to ensure that when it's detonating, you're holding it. So for maximum impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, the intelligence world is a bit scary. Because it's just that even after they released a lot of the recent files, there's still a lot of redactions.
Those files don't make sense because there are no names. And
yeah, there's barely any names.
Rich people don't go to jail. So you're going to wait forever. No one is going to go to jail.
Yeah.
They don't go to jail.
Well, and also the connection to Kenya. Because, there was the former director of UNEP, Dr. Lisa, who kept very close contact with him clearly from the emails, even after the conviction in 2008, including invitations to Kenya. Then I remember the BBC expose on madams, on child trafficking that Njeri was part of last year.
Yeah.
So the pushback that the government gave that was a bit surprising. When you look at how big the operation with the guys like Epstein is, there's definitely, you can't say that Kenya was not, Kenya was one of those countries that could not possibly have been involved.
So for context, for guys who are watching, hearing this for the first time, so Njeri did a story with the BBC investigating women who sell underage girls to truckers for sex, like the guys who use long distance
trailers. Yeah.
So this thing took almost 3 years. They did an investigation, got the girls, got the evidence. When we went to the police said they're investigating. When the story went public and it was on BBC, the Interior Minister Mukuru and said it was not true. It was a lie.
Yeah, that the women were coached.
The women were coached. Now, if you give false information to the police, you should arrest the people who gave you the false information. Njeri was not arrested, no one was arrested. So the government covered it up for some people. But you know very well that even some members of parliament and politicians also procure small girls. I think Malindi is built on the back of the sex industry. The Italians, all Italian men having sex with underage girls. It's a known fact. Even the governor of Malindi was a beach boy. Gideon Mungaro, you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
He married an Italian. Yeah, he was a beach boy who married an Italian woman.
Okay.
Yeah. Then became mayor and all that. I don't know. You know the way in this country, shit rises to the top. Like poop. Yeah.
But so I was wondering,
Yes.
do you think a lot of that pushback came about from the government because Njeri was involved? Because it looked like they almost wanted to call her a liar publicly, almost tried to expose her as someone who's coaching, because who does that?
No,
so if it was someone else like who was not Njeri, then would they have received the same pushback?
I think it would have been different. But Murkomen is a coward, and Murkomen's wife and and my wife were classmates in high school.
I'm assuming they're not in touch anymore.
They're in the same high school groups. But people don't talk. I know half of the people in this government because either we work together, either as journalists or in same spaces. But you have to realize that if you shit and clean water don't mix. So, so you keep different paths. But I think they came after her because of me, and they didn't go after they did not save the victims. So the women who are trafficking girls are still trafficking girls and selling those girls to truckers.
Because it's hard for me to believe that this has been happening for this while and the intelligence community in Kenya doesn't know. They definitely know.
They know. So National Intelligence Service has plants everywhere. We're like 1, 2, 3, we're like 7 of us here. I can guarantee you.
Yeah, one.
One of us.
He looks like one. It's very hard to suspect that he's
one of us.
Yeah.
And even if they're not intelligence people, they have a handler who they inform or tell, leo Boni alikuwa hivi, kulienda hivi. So be very careful about people around you. Kikulacho, kingoni mwako. I was talking to the guy for Hotel Rwanda. It's called, what is his name? It's called Paul, the Hotel Rwanda guy. And I was with him in Germany last week. And he tells me the person who betrayed him was a bishop. He was abducted in Dubai.
Yeah, I saw that.
He was going to Burundi. He found himself, he woke up, he was chained, he found himself in Rwanda and he was thrown in jail. The person who betrayed him was a bishop. The people who don't know will never betray you. Yeah. Bro, me, I don't even know where you live. I don't know who you date. I don't know what you drink. I don't know your life. So for you to be betrayed, you have to be betrayed by the people around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of information would be classified by the National Intelligence Service in Kenya? Like what kind of information is classified by intelligence?
So they have classified the killers of Tomboya, the killers of Piogama Pinto, the killers of JM Karaoke. Because so for Pinto, they arrested someone who went to jail and there was no Team 65. For Mboya, they arrested someone who said they hanged, who was called Jenga. 75, they never arrested anyone. For Ukomada, no one went to jail. Even as recent as Chris Musando, who was working for IBC. He was abducted, tortured. And every time they kill you in these countries, okay, now, especially during Kibaki, but even Moi's time actually, and even now, because especially in the Uhuru, they kill you with a woman. Like Msando's killing a woman was thrown next to Msando. He was having a drink. You can have a drink with anyone.
Yeah.
Then he was speak to this woman. This woman was killed. And Msando was killed as well. And the murderers are still there. Jacob Juma is classified who killed Jacob Juma.
Yeah.
But all these killings are done by the state. There's a guy called Mwere who was killed the other day, the member of parliament. Have you seen the guys in court? See, they're just the driver, the bodyguard, and some guys from his village. But those guys had no motive. Those guys are just foot soldiers. Another killing that is classified could be George Thuo, who was killed up on your house after saying that Atoli wants to kill him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I'm assuming when it comes to like prominent people, they definitely get to the bottom of it. They just classify.
So you use that as compromise material. You use that to blackmail people to support you. Because Kenya is a killer nation. And being a killer nation, the center of the crime scene in this country is State House. That's like the center of crime scene because everything that has been done in this country has been done in the name of the president. from land grabbing, tribal clashes, Goldenberg, post-election violence. Everything has been done in the name of the president. Even the killings of Gen Z protesters was done in the name of the president.
Yeah. So, but okay, so things like maybe campaign manipulation, would NIS know that?
Rigging, yes, they know. That's why.
Right?
So, Nuruddin was working for Ruto before the elections. He was ODPP. He was the one going around recruiting people to go and work for Ruto. So when Ruto won the elections, he took him back as the head of the intelligence because of doing that for him.
Yeah.
And you remember when this guy, the former Muturi, Justin Muturi, when his son was abducted and he couldn't find him, he went to State House. Who did the president call? Nuruddin.
Yeah.
Called Nuruddin, said, hey, you have this kijana, achilia kijana kaachiliwa. So everything is coordinated by Nuruddin. He's the one who is sending handlers to he's the one Nuruddin is so invested in my life. I don't know. Fucking Nuruddin. Where is the man? Fucking Nuruddin. Yeah. Fucking the hole you came from.
Wow.
No, it's true, man.
Yeah.
Like, this country has bigger problems. There's terrorism. There's kidnappings. There's rape. There's murder. There's femicide. Spend that money there. There's corruption. Spending money on someone like me, I'm broke. The guy is all over my life. There's even a police officer who was arrested for talking to me. Like, they are...
Really?
Yes. So they just arrest anyone around me, harass anyone around me. I'm like, what's your problem?
Have you ever spoken to him?
Yes, I've met Nuruddin.
What does he say?
When he was director of public prosecutions.
Yeah.
He came to... So you see, before this story, Njeri did another story about forced to beg, about beggars in Nairobi, people who beg. They come from Tanzania. So Njeri traced that story about the begging syndicate. And so during the launch, Nuruddin was invited to talk about how do we break the syndicate. And then before that, I'd met him at the Swiss ambassador's residence. The president of Switzerland was there, so we met there. So I meet these fuckers in meetings, in here and there, like go to a public meeting, meet someone. And we were raised very well. You shake someone's hand and you move on.
Yeah. Do you think most of them expect a confrontation in person? Then they just don't get it?
I don't have energy to deal with losers.
Yeah.
You see, if I was driving and then you came to my path, I would block you. But me shouting at you will not make a difference.
Yeah.
Me organizing to remove you from power will make a difference. So I tell guys, don't shout, organize. Yeah. Don't agonize, organize. So as much as, and that brings me to the question about what we do. As much as we're shouting about bad governance and corruption, we must organize to deal with this permanently. Like, we need to get a permanent solution. And that means that you have to do more work of organizing than the kaleles we do online and the kaleles we do physically. That we need to be able to do the long-term plan. Look at the government right now. They went to China. They're trying to find UDA to work with the Communist Party. How do you radicalize people? How do you give them an ideology? How do you make this UDA thing a movement and create ownership? And that they're organizing. And we need also to organize ourselves. We can't just agonize.
Yeah. So then, just let me take you back slightly. When you're just giving me examples of information you believe is classified by the government or by intelligence, do you think the president gets full access to all classified information, including from previous governments?
Yes,
the sitting president.
The president can find out what has been happening in the last 50 years or 60 years, as long as there's information that is available, like it's archived. So there's nothing that is top secret to the president.
Got you.
Everything is open to the president. Unless internally there's a scheme to remove him by people within his government, then they can hide that from him because they want to remove him. So I think where Kibaki failed this country was... So in the 80s, we had Nyayo torture chambers at Nyayo House, where guys were being abducted, tortured, killed. A lot of bad things happened there. The people who did those things were never declassified. So we know a guy called Opio used to do this. We know a few names, but you don't have the full information about what used to happen there. That should have actually happened. Kibaki should have left Nyayo House, the basement, as a museum. As a reminder, should never go there. If that had happened, and the guys who did the torturing were arrested and prosecuted, the guys who were doing Riviera bodies, the guys who were killing protesters, wouldn't have done that because they know in future
it will be declassified.
and they'll be into trouble, right?
Yeah.
And also, there's no statute of limitation to crimes.
Against
like murder, against humanity, murder, rape.
Yeah.
So some of these officers who are doing these killings are going to end up in jail. There's DCI officers, National Intelligence Service officers, and I think immigration officers in court today. I think 15 of them for kidnapping and killing 2 people who are working for Ruto, the 2 Pakistanis and their driver.
Oh yeah, I remember that case.
Those guys who were doing the killing. Do you know who sent them to kill them? Uhuru and Judge Kenoti. Kenoti and Uhuru are not arrested, but the guys who did the killing have been arrested. They're in court right now. So at the end of the day, the guys who do these bad things, eventually, Ruto will never be there forever to protect you. You might find yourself in court. And that's more than possible in this coming election, because in this coming election, doesn't matter who wins, because I know the next president is not Ruto. That's given. It's not Ruto. The people who are doing bad things in the name of Ruto are going to be in so much trouble, because Ruto might negotiate to be protected. He might know a thing or two that he can hold the state and say, you know what?
He definitely knows a thing or two.
Yes, so yeah.
Yes.
But not how to run a country.
Yeah, for sure.
But there are things that he knows that might help him negotiate a softer landing. But the guys around him carrying out these illegal orders, like in Murkomen, are going to be in so much trouble. Yeah. Akina Kindiki. And anyone, even Kanja, anyone who is doing illegal things and breaking the law, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. So then who would be... So between the intelligence then and the president, who's more powerful? Because it looks like the intelligence is more powerful.
It's the most powerful job in this country.
Because presidents come and go, the system remains.
Yeah, there's a guy called Kanyotu, James Kanyotu. Yeah. He was the head of intelligence for Moi for the longest time. Died a billionaire, stole so much, killed so many people. He's the one who held Moi's government together, because the president doesn't know what's happening unless he's informed. So what Ruto was able to do before the last election was to capture the intelligence in his own way. So Uhuru was too drunk to get good intel. And when he was sober, the intel was already expired.
He couldn't use it to his advantage.
Yeah, so that's why he lost the election, because he didn't have good intelligence, yeah.
Because for sure, if say the intelligence does not like the sitting president, or maybe there's senior guys' intelligence have a lot of maybe friction with the sitting president, then you're right, they can feed him with the wrong information. They can easily get the president out of office.
That's what they did. That's why Raila did not become president, because Uhuru had bad intel. Yeah.
Was that intentional from Uhuru's side?
It was intentional, not by Uhuru. Uhuru is just, he's incompetent by birth. So he's just incompetent. Yeah, he can't help it. Ile jamaa sema ujinga ya kuzaliwa. Because let me tell you, what jamaa? You know, do you remember something called Sunny? The thing that used to demolish buildings.
Oh yeah, the
excavator.
The excavator, yes.
That was going around demolishing things.
Yes.
You know, when they demolished Chapo Mbagati roundabout, they demolished that illegal building that was there.
Yes.
Apo kwa roundabout, up the road was Weston Hotel. He had been told, go demolish Weston. Just show that you're a man. Just show your supremacy. You're the president. That's stolen land, grabbed land, go demolish Weston. Who didn't have the balls to do it?
So who was telling him?
The intelligence and the government is saying, you know, he was supposed to flex muscles. When he was firing, when he was firing and demoting people allied to Ruto, he was supposed to move in decisively on Ruto, but he did not. So when Azimio lost the elections, Uhuru calls for a meeting and calls Jubilee MPs for a meeting, says, you know, he was upset. Oh, he lost, but you're going to show him. We're going to deal with him. Akaambia acha ujinga wewe. When you are president, you are afraid of him. Now he's the president. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And remember when, also Ruto is petty, when Ruto sent police to go and arrest Uhuru's son.
Yes.
Uhuru shows up very drunk. Oh, going to arrest my son. This guy had a chance to arrest a lot of bad people, Uhuru. But because he was a criminal, he couldn't arrest fellow criminals.
Yeah. But isn't that the same case with all politicians? I feel like all politicians are criminals.
I think 99.9% of our politicians belong in jail.
So then does it mean us expecting better is very far-fetched? Because how do you expect criminals to uphold the law? Or even make the law to begin with?
Then you change your leadership. Change your leadership, because the thing we have to do as a country, we have to imagine Kenya can be better. We have to imagine that Kenya can be a corrupt-free country. Then once we imagine that, we ask ourselves, who can make Kenya that way? And that's why I've been going around talking to Kenyans. Kenyans are saying, how do you deal with this problem of bad leadership, corruption?
Yeah.
And we see we can amend the constitution a bit, kidogo tu, and say economic thieves, people who steal from the public, should be hanged in public. So you have public hanging. So
wait, is this why you brought these things?
I propose. I hereby propose.
Because I was wondering what
it's supposed to be this way. It's the other way.
Oh, bro.
Yes. Then you kick the stool, and then we need to do a bit of public hanging so that guys who are robbing us issue.
So then, which means you do not believe that Kenya is fixable within the current political structure?
No, the way Kenya is right now,
Yeah.
the current leaders you have, we are doomed. We are doomed as a country, because it's a lot of backroom deals. You have leaders who do not serve this country. They serve self-interest. You have leaders who want Kenya to remain the way it is because they benefit from the mess in this country. So Kenya as is today will not work for anyone. Even if you change the president and you put another president and you have the same members of parliament, same governors, Kenya is not going to go anywhere. But I also think that the Kenyan voter is a very foolish voter, extremely foolish voter. The Kenyan voter does not look at somebody's track record or someone's past. They go with waves, which political party, who is their godfather. They don't interrogate character, and that's why people can become gold scammers, people who are thieves. When you make so much money, you run into politics. If you're a drug baron and you supply drugs that destroy lives, you run into politics. Because in politics, you get political protection. And you get a political cover to protect you. So that's why we're failing. So it's not that Kenyans are innocent. At any given time, you find Kenyans just want to scam you. There's someone who just want to scam you. So it's not that we're good people. So we need to imagine the country that the Gen Z imagined last year but one. When they said Ruto must go, when they said Ruto must go wasn't an individual. It was the system that it represents, must go, all of it.
Drain the swamp.
Fagia water.
Yeah. Because when I look at the leadership that we have, it's literally the same people, same people, but different parties.
Yeah.
Most of them have been in office for such a long time.
Same monkeys,
such a long time.
Different forests.
Same monkeys, different forests.
Yes.
But it's almost as if people will expect new things each time they re-elect them.
New jinga too.
Like, ningumu. And am I wrong saying that I think all politicians are liars?
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to trust politicians.
So Kenyan politicians have been forced to become even liars by far. It wasn't always like that. You know, Orengo was a KANU MP in the 80s. James Orengo, there was Anyona, there was Kwegi Wamore, there was Helena Chelagat Mutai. There are people who are holding Moi's government accountable, and they were in KANU. So there were rebels in the 80s who were KANU MPs holding the government accountable within their own party. Now, but progressively, we introduced money into politics. 1992, the Jirongo, the 500 that were given out. Then
that's YK 92.
Youth for 92. Then 97. Then there's something called the synchronization of politics. The synchronization of politics is where Sonko won Makadara by giving out money.
He was moving like a cartel. Bro.
Yes.
It was so insane.
And free Matatu rides. Yeah.
Bro, like how you're a governor, and you say you're fixing healthcare and stuff, but the way you're doing it is private ambulances. How does that even make sense?
You have a parallel structure.
Bro, you have Sirawambi was moving like a cartel. You have a parallel structure that is privately owned that does...
Sonko rescue team.
Bro, Sonko rescue team. Fire brigades, but was Sonko rescue team. Like, bro, it was so wild. Very strange.
This country is a cartel, you know. I look at... So I went to a public primary school before I went to approved school. And I look at the quality of schools that I went to, the quality of teachers, the books and all that. And then I look at today's schools. And I'm like, we are doomed. Because if you do not invest in education, that's an entire generation that is lost. You're going not to have manpower and human resource to run a country because they're losing out. And the biggest resource we have as a country is education. So when they don't invest in education, when we have to rely, if you want to go to schools, it's private schools, kids have to wake up to 5 a.m. We're fucking up an entire generation of kids.
Yeah. Because you look at even people like, say, Joho, who was on camera so many times saying how he will never, ever, ever, ever work with Ruto. Now he sings to his tune. It's so wild, bro.
I don't think those guys are singing to Ruto's tunes.
You don't think so?
They're bending to his tune.
Okay.
I think they like the taste of us. Because I'm like, how do you swallow such words? How?
It's so hard.
I would be ashamed.
It's so strange.
I would be ashamed of myself.
It's very strange, bro.
Eh?
I think for me, when it comes to 2027, and we'll definitely discuss that in a bit, there's things that I say are very fundamental in the decisions I'll make at the ballot. Number one is corruption. If there's no clear plan on and if there's no clear plan on how to deal with corruption,
you agree?
I agree.
Yes.
And we look at just how bad corruption has affected us as a country.
Yeah.
If there's no clear plan on how to deal with corruption, and if corruption is not going to be a priority, then it's not. Personally, it's not even a candidate I'll look at. The only challenge I have is I know they're all liars, so I'm caught in this.
I want you to interrogate your statement in this way.
Okay.
So Lee says Ruto never said he's going to fight corruption because he's corrupt. So he's not going to fight corruption. But among the people who are vying today for president, who among them is not corrupt? The main ones.
The main ones.
Yeah, apart from me.
No, there's none.
Yeah, so you see, so already your chances is doomed. That's what I'm thinking. Kenyans must reimagine a new country. Because the guys who are stealing from us cannot fix this country.
Yeah.
They will not.
And this is something we said. If these are the guys who've been in office for all these years and nothing has changed, then how do you expect that come 2027, that now they'll come with a complete new set of promises and they'll fulfill those promises?
Yeah, true. And even at the same time, even when their allies have been killed, for example, when Msendo was killed, Raila spoke so well, Raila, Kalonzo and the likes, demanding justice. And then when they shook hands with Uhuru, they never said anything about it. The same thing about Jacob Juma. And when Matiang'i was in office, Rivayala happened, Kenjakoma brothers. I tell Kenyans, if you want to know who is Matiang'i, Google Roraka land thief. Just that. His name comes up because he took government land, sold to the government. Now, how can the same people talk about fighting corruption? When they were in government and he was interior minister, he could have gone after scammers and thieves and corrupt people. He didn't do that.
Yeah.
So I think as someone who went to Bible school and I believe in the Bible, I would say this. Do not believe what I say. Look at my actions. So you shall know them by their fruits, not their words.
Yeah.
Words, anyone can say anything. Even Ricky G, when he goes around saying, oh, Kasongo that. You know Ricky G is a billionaire.
I mean, he's part of the problem.
Do you know he's a billionaire?
He is a billionaire.
Do you know the only job he has held in his entire life?
At DC?
Yeah, he was a DO.
DO, district officer.
District officer.
Yeah.
How do you become a billionaire as a DO? And so public office has become a place where people go to loot, steal, grab, and acquire wealth. In other countries, people go to public service to serve the public. In Kenya, people go to public service to steal from the public. And then when they steal from the public, this same public who don't have doctors in hospitals and teachers in schools take handouts from these guys to re-elect them. Ujinga tupu, by the way.
Yeah.
I think of the kids dying in Russia. And I was telling these guys...
The Kenyans?
Kenyans dying in Russia. Yes. Some of the person recruiting them bombed my house. But you still saw him fit to be in government.
He is genuinely one of the most incompetent people in government. I've never seen a government and people in power that prioritize just literally selling our best brains out. They are constantly trying to get Kenyans to go back in other countries.
Yeah?
I'm like, bro, how does this work? Like, you're supposed to help provide employment locally.
Yes.
But how do you... And this is one of the cool things Kibaki did, was like, let's find some of our best brains and bring them back. Let's encourage people to come back.
Vision 2030.
And build the nation.
There was a plan.
There was a plan.
The plan for this government is brick and mortar. Kujenga tu. Because the president has interest in Devki.
Devki Group.
Where they do steel, and then he has interest in Bamburi Cement. So for them, it's business. Wacha tufanye biashara.
Yeah, everything is a business.
Yeah.
So my number one was corruption, and then my second one is institutional reform. Man, our institutions, especially public ones, like if you look at the judiciary, if you look at the police service, though I know those two are your best friends. If you look at those, I think we need that has to be a priority as well for me. And then last one for me has to be the creative industry. I mean, because that is a bit of a selfish one, but at least nimeka Kenya kwa the first two. And then nimejiaka hapo kwa the third. So, what would your priority list look like?
So for you to change anything, you need goodwill from the president. So you need to change from the presidency going down. You know the way they say fish rots from the head. So start from the head, start from the top. Elect a president who is competent, who is going to serve the country.
Yeah.
And competency means that he brings in the qualified experience to be able to run a country and be able to bring in competent people to do that. So a president doesn't have to be a judge or a pilot or a police officer, but can be able to manage teams that are going to fix the country. So get a good president and elect people who can work with him properly. So my view is that the next president of this republic, I'm running for president, is going to be a coalition and a collective. The same way Atisoki in a collective. And the same way Raila Odinga did the Pentagon in 2007.
Pentagon was 2007.
Yeah, the one they had Ngilu, Balala, Raila, Nyaga, and someone else. I think Mudavadi or someone else. It was that thing. You get people saying, we're gonna become the dream team for this country. And this dream team, this is what we're going to do. So number one, reform institutions. So you start with the police service. Because police is where they serve people. And they are the ones supposed to secure the country for investors to come. If you need to reform the police, you need to fire all incompetent police officers, fire corrupt police officers.
Yeah.
Everyone who is today in the police service must go back for retraining to behave in a humane way. And then house these people in the community. Remove barracks. Police should not live in the barracks. Let the police live in the community. Where they serve the people, that's where they live. Na kikugonga ama kuibie, unampata kwa base, waambia wewe by the way ulinigonga. Have them live in the community. When you recruit better. Our police service should actually have blind people who are different disabled, albinos, people on wheelchair, because the police has many, many departments. You need to have science labs, they can work there. The report office, you don't need legs to write a report.
Yeah.
You know, it's true. And it's true, you don't need legs to write a report. You can be disabled. You know, there are things you can actually, the police command center.
Yeah.
You can even employ autistic kids. You know, there are any areas you can actually employ good police officers, and then
they need to humanize the police service.
Yes, but it need to be basically like disbanded and started afresh. Like everyone becomes a new officer with a new curriculum to serve the people, because right now they protect the rich, not the citizens. And then there's so much corruption that it's impossible for them to investigate a crime. The other thing is modernized police stations. The majority of these stations were built by the colonial government. So they're about 100-year-old. They stink. It's a bad working environment.
Those Mabati hats, I don't know what to call them.
Someone has a deal. They're called uni hats.
Uni hats.
Someone has been having a deal since before independence to supply police with those things. I think some dogs in this country are housed better than police officers.
No, genuinely.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like how hot the sun was in January, and there's police officers that needed to live in.
And that room they share 2 people, so you can't even come with your wife there. So reform the police properly. Make sure that they're well compensated, they're well paid, and then let the police have a union. It will help balance things out, so they can't obey illegal orders. And then judiciary. You know, I have many lawyer friends, and every time I'm in court, say, hey, we judge anakulanga, huyu anakulanga. They know all the corrupt judges. They're known. It's an open secret. I'll tell you a quick story. When when William Tunga was the Chief Justice, there was a case where he was brought for evidence that a governor was corrupt and had bribed a Supreme Court judge.
And the judge accepted. No, the judge accepted the bribe.
$2 million. It was given in a Pakileleshwa. NIS had even that information as well. So William Tunga goes to the president and says, you have enough evidence. That's Uhuru Kenyatta. There's enough evidence to convict a sitting judge and a sitting governor. Go with these things. It will help even your legacy. Uhuru used those things to do deals with the governor and the judge. So there was a...
So this is the honeypot you're talking about.
Yeah. I can negotiate nayo, and then those people were never jailed. So even the way the system is designed, you can't jail rich people. So judiciary, what you need to do, there's corruption courts. So you know the way you meet a girl, fall in love, or you don't fall in love, you have sex, she's pregnant, 9 months later, there's a baby.
Yeah.
The results within 9 months. I think all corruption cases should be treated like a sex relationship. Within 9 months, kuna results.
But when there's such clear evidence, do you even need 9 months?
No, you see, the problem is, so you say by 9 months, the case is over.
Okay, gotcha.
Open, investigated, closed, someone is in jail. Because the longer the case takes, it helps them compromise the witnesses, kill witnesses, compromise the evidence. Just when people forget, then they get acquitted. But when a case is hot, from beginning to end is 9 months, then it's supposed to be finished. And then you have judges the judges work in those courts should be protected more than normal judges, number one. Number two, the investigators should also have their own protection so that they don't get compromised. But number three, we should also protect witnesses. I think that should also be number one because...
Do you have witness protection in Kenya?
Yeah, but it doesn't really work. So witness protection should be key. But the icing on the cake for all corruption cases, that you give the people who do the whistleblowing and the witnesses should get a percentage of the recovered money. So
there's an incentive for guys to come forward with information.
And to protect public resources. So if you know someone stole 10 billion and you're going to get 10%, that's $1 billion. Or you can do it pro quota, depending on the amount, percentage, so that you ensure that people have a reason to come, risk their lives, testify. And if need be, we can buy them citizenship in another country to relocate. But we want to live in a country where such people are celebrated. They become heroes because they blew the whistle on big corruption. There's a guy called David Munyake. Munyake blew the whistle on Goldenberg. In the Goldenberg case, no one went to jail. Munyake was ridiculed.
Yeah.
He was trailed.
Yeah.
He was vilified. He was insulted, became an alcoholic, got so stressed, and died from depression. Like he could not live in this country. Like he was chased everywhere. He lost his job, he lost his life, he lost his family, he lost everything. Why? Because he blew the whistle on Goldenberg. And guess what happened? Later on, Patin was cleared to run for MP in Westlands.
Yeah.
See, Brother Kamlesh Patin. Now, he's running a scam in Zimbabwe. Yeah, you see? In this country, shit rises to the top. Always.
I think that's why there's such a big disconnect, like say from power by the young people. And I still believe if things don't change, I don't think they will, with the same crop of leaders we have.
Bro, do you think I am?
No, I'm saying the one's in power now.
No, we have 19 months in this country. I think 17 months rather. I think Kenya is changeable. But we need to be angry. So the movement that began in 2024 was strong enough to change this country for good, forever. I don't know how old you are. Did you vote in 2002?
No, of course not.
You're that young.
2002 was barely there.
You're shooting.
Yeah.
No, you're babies. In 2002, I voted.
Hey, Bonnie.
For Kibaki. I'm old.
Gosh.
I'm 42.
You're like 43, 42?
42.
Okay, 42.
Turning 43 this year. I voted for Kibaki. When you voted in January 2003, we were the most optimistic people in the world.
I can imagine.
Yeah, we were so excited. Kenya had changed. Now, when you saw police asking for a bribe, you'd arrest them.
In 2003?
Yes. January 2003, people would arrest police officers, take them to the police station for asking for a bribe. But what happened...
So if you arrest a police officer from Kilimani, you take them to Kilimani police station?
Unapeleka tu kwa sasa. Do you know? Let me tell you what happened, sasa.
Yeah.
Kenya is an interesting country.
Yeah.
So Kibaki had said an end to corruption, right? And so Kenyans were very excited about this. So the people who are arresting police officers would get to the police station. When you get there, unageuziwa. You get arrested for assaulting a police officer and get beaten and taken to court. The police flipped the script.
Because there's no accountability.
There was no system to do that.
Yeah.
When William Tunga was Chief Justice, he introduced instant fines. The police fought it and it was removed. During William Tunga's time, there was instant fines. Do you know, even right now, there's supposed to be a weekend court. There's a judge on duty over weekends. There's supposed to be a judge on duty even Saturday, Sunday to avoid the delay of justice. And
especially for small crimes. Why does someone need to sit in the police station
for 2 days?
Yeah, for 2 days.
But there's no duty court. But there's supposed to be a duty court every weekend. There are people who are assigned to be on duty court over Saturday and Sunday. They don't go to work. They don't do it. It's just a mess. But because you don't have a good manager at the very top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see another phase of civic unrest before the next election?
No, it's not civil. It's not civil unrest really. It is. It's people expressing how they feel about this country.
Yeah.
So it's going to be June 25th for sure. I guarantee you.
Oh yeah, there's
anniversary.
That.
Yeah. There's July 7th.
Just like last year.
Just like last year, and then next year as well. That will happen. But we need to do more than that. We need to be able to organize in small communities and ensure that everyone that we're talking to, like everyone. Do you have a voter's card?
Ojizo,
got a voter's card?
Do you have your voter's card already?
I got mine.
You got yours? Hey.
Do you have one?
Yeah.
Do you have one?
Yeah, we do.
The guys at the back, do you have voter's cards?
The dame is here. Yeah.
Let your
Ochi. Yeah.
Uko na kura wewe? So at least you see now, now that's civic education.
Yes.
So if everyone in society actually has a voter's card and then they ask their friends, we can have a revolution in this country. Remember, Raila Odinga got 6.9 million votes. Ruto got 7.1 million votes. That's
200,000.
Difference, right?
Yes.
And that's 14 million votes, right? And then in that election, 10 million people did not vote.
Yep.
So in that election, apathy won. If there was someone called apathy running, apathy won. There are more people who did not vote than the ones who voted for this president. Now imagine those 10 million people decide to vote in this coming election. And then you get this Gen Z, they get 5 to 6 million votes. Those 16 million, you can get a new country. A country where this noose
works.
works.
Yeah. And this even applies to Kenyans in the diaspora.
Yes.
Because we have such a big Kenyan diaspora and most of them don't vote, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And most of them don't come back to vote because
it's too expensive. No, but it's too expensive. But they send their money. Actually, diaspora votes are important, but not very important.
Okay.
What is very important is their voice. Because these people send money every day home. They send money to their mother, their sister, their loved ones. They send money. I wish they could send money with civic education. At the moment as we speak, 37% of this government is two communities, Kikuyus and Kalenjins. Kenya has 42 tribes. So the level of nepotism...
Even more now.
45
like
plus 44, 45, because of Indians.
Indians,
and Wanani? Nubians, I think, as well.
Nubians officially?
I don't know if they're officially.
I doubt. I feel like the Nubians
the guys
were
at the coast,
complaining the other day. There's a tribe from the coast as well that was recognized.
Makonde.
They're called Makonde?
Makonde, yes.
Okay.
So the guys from the diaspora sending money to Kenya, if they sent money with civic education, it would really help. Telling their parent, I'm sending you money, but do you know, if you had a good president, healthcare would be free. Do you know if there was a good government, education would be free? You know, such things. Because I believe a country should never, ever charge for education,
and
healthcare,
basic healthcare.
And even water. Like water for drinking, for home use, should never be charged. Should be free of charge. And those things are here. They're actually guaranteed. They're not new things. Fungua Katiba, Article 43.
Article 43.
Somia watu.
Unajua, I don't think nimeifungua nini.
Katiba. Now fungua Katiba.
Sasa, because saizi mimi ningekuwa nimeenda online Article 43. Ningekuwa nimeget. Chapter 7.
Chapter no 43. No, Article 43.
But chapter what? Article 43. Acha niangalia hapa. Article Ojizo. Sasa hizo hebu uko nayo already?
Zote.
Fungua Article 43. Sisi wacha afungue. Sisi ni old school. Ama nikufungulie.
Unajua because mimi naona chapters. So niko like unamaanisha chapter 43?
No, Article 43.
Boni, huko zinasema chapter.
Acha nikufungulie article 43.
Hebu nifungulie nione. Hiyo ni kasa hizo ukiniambia eti fungua Thessalonians. In a physical Bible.
Article 43. What mimi niende kwa table of contents. Iko chapter 1. Si ndio? No, ngoja. Iko chapter 4. Bill of Rights, article 43. Yes. Iko kwa Bill of Rights. So it's chapter 4.
Okay.
Yeah, Bill of Rights. Bill of Rights. Oh, nafaa kuangalia page.
I told you. So Boni ulikuwa I thought ulikuwa unajua.
No, najua what it says. Okay. It's page 37. See, I'm looking at the page. When you're confused, but it's okay. It's social and economic rights.
Okay.
Economic. Ledama ametoka?
Ledama is here.
Oh, so smile not kuone.
43. So economic and social rights, every person has the right to the highest attainable standard of health, which includes the right to healthcare services, including reproductive healthcare, to accessible and adequate housing, and to reasonable standards of sanitation, to be free from hunger and to have adequate food of acceptable quality, to clean and safe water in adequate quantities, to social security, and to education. A person shall not be denied emergency medical treatment. The state shall provide appropriate social security to persons who are unable to support themselves and their dependents.
That's in the Constitution, by the way. So it's a right.
Yes.
It's not, rights are not sold.
Yeah.
Those are the things that the government should provide for you. Do you get those things? You don't.
Of course not.
Kuna SHA doesn't work. Kuna free education doesn't work. Uhuru gave us a scam called free laptops.
Yeah.
Did not work. I know you're one of the beneficiaries.
No, never. I've never seen. I actually don't know.
Class 1, 2013.
An old guy. I don't know anyone in person who received a free laptop.
But they were bought. Where did the money go to? And then now we've been told about Singapore. We're not going to any Singapore. It's a lie. Singapore is one of the least corrupt countries in the world. Top 10 least corrupt countries in the world. Because they punish economic crimes. We like borrowing from China. China hangs.
China hangs, bro.
Yeah, corrupt people. If we're going to borrow from China money, let's borrow China's best practices. Let's kill those who steal from us.
Yeah. We can't get to Singapore if you don't do what Singapore did to get to where they did. Yeah, it's absurd.
No, but Kenyans like cinema, language.
See, Canaan, we were told about Canaan. Same thing.
No, Canaan, labda membership by Palestinians.
I know. So that's, and we'll still be told about something else. It was Canaan, now it's Singapore. They'll come up with a different destination.
And we need to push back on that language. Because number one, even people who have been told Singapore, they don't know what Singapore is.
Yeah.
It's a terminology that, adjusts to. And Kenyans need to stop being simple-minded. Because that's the reason why we get carried away by drama and shenanigans and sideshows. And we never interrogate what someone promised to do and they haven't done it.
Yeah.
Because instead of talking about the future, because right now the Singapore language is about a second term. Let's ask him what he has done in his first term. Let's hold him accountable now. Let's not even wait until 27 to vote him out first. Right now, as he's president, let him ask him, what have you done so far? Let's see your track record, because you can't be showing us houses and you're paying housing levy, but you don't have those houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's I was reading about Ronald Reagan, just something specific earlier, and there's a statement he said that the government is not the solution to the problems. At that point, he said the government was the problem. And I believe a lot of Kenyans, that's how we feel now. If you look at, so since July 1st till 31st January, you saw Seto spends 48.3 million daily.
Daily, yeah.
Daily. So when I was looking at, I think I wrote it down somewhere. So when I was looking at their annual budget, this is recurrent expenditure. It does not include development expenditure. It's 10.4 billion. As of January, they had exceeded that by 2.7 billion. We are 5 months in.
Because, so the president has an office of the president. It's located at Harambee Avenue. He has never been there, not even once. I think he also believes, like the way Kenyatta used to think that State House here has ghosts. So he thinks that Harambee House maybe has ghosts. He's afraid of going there. He doesn't go there. The man has never been there. Not even once.
So he works from here?
He works from here, but he's never even here. He works from on top of a matatu. Is it a matatu?
Chopper.
Prado. No.
Prado.
He's
the Lexus.
He's a makanga. You have to be very idle to be gallivanting the entire country every day, because that's what he does every day. So because he has failed to deliver in his first term, he's busy campaigning for his second term. That's why he's going everywhere. And then he has lied to Kenyans that he's bringing about change. For example, the Nyota thing, this Nyota program.
Nyota fund.
The Nyota fund is money he has borrowed from the IMF and the World Bank. So this money is not free money. So he has borrowed money to fund his re-election campaign to look good, to look like it's goodies. But it's not goodies. It's actually borrowed money that Kenyans are going to pay. So he has mortgaged our entire future. And now our kids now are in debt. It will take about 7 years to pay those debts. He'll be long gone. That's what he's doing. He's indenting this country by doing projects. If I was president, I would just cut spending. Because there's too much spending. People go to Mombasa on first-class tickets. People go to New York on first-class tickets. Everyone should fly economy. Then if the meeting could be a Zoom meeting, it can be a Zoom call. We don't have to go for physical meetings.
All the time. And carry a whole team of, I don't know how many people.
Counties doing retreats so they can get per DMs. Every time we move the president, you spend about 100 million shillings a day. Every time you move that guy. Because that guy, the number of vehicles is going to go with, the number of people, advanced team that has to go to, like you have to send officers within a week there, they sit there, they won't fill the tempo of the city. The tent, entertainment, the music, the food, the per DM for everyone working outside.
All those Harambes.
All those activities are costing us so much money every day. And it's unnecessary. Kibaki did not travel as much. And Kibaki delivered. The economy grew.
Yeah.
This man is as useless as they come.
Because they make us believe that we have a debt problem, while we can all tell it's an expenditure problem.
Yes.
Also then, if it's a debt problem, because I think when the last figures were published in the last financial year, around almost 12 trillion as a country, right? He did promise that they would audit the debts,
but
which has not been done.
Can't,
because the audit will expose where the money was used and who embezzled the funds.
Because he'll have to arrest people who stole money, and part of the stolen money went to his pockets.
And also a lot of guys in his
government. Yeah. He said even he'll do a commission on state capture. He never did. Because when you do a state capture commission, you reveal what's happening. And then when you reveal what's happening, you have to take action. You have to jail people. The next president of Kenya must jail people. People must go to jail.
As an example?
Yes.
So then, the expenditure thing is a bit of a bother to me, because when you're looking at even the deputy president, when they're saying that 380 million is just dedicated for flights, I'm like, where are you guys flying to? 380 million?
He has to chat out choppers from his best friend, his boss, Ruto. He has a chopper hangar at Wilson, yeah.
So how do we go about this expenditure problem?
No,
because already our wage bill, to begin with, our wage bill is already up there.
We are top heavy. We need to be able to... So you start with auditing all ministries to find out if they're ghost workers. Because
there's so many ghost workers.
There's so many ghost workers. That is number one. Number two, you look at how much you're paying. I don't think the person at the top should earn more than 10 times the person at the lowest. So if the lowest person is paid, let's say 20K, then you shouldn't earn more than 400,000, you know? Yeah.
Then, because the other big problem I see is just an issue of priorities.
No, not more than 800,000. 800,000, yeah.
The other issue I see is just an issue of priorities. I wonder, as a country like Kenya, when people are starving and dying and animals are dying in Northeastern, when there's barely any medicine in public hospitals, when kids are home for extended periods because teachers and lecturers are on strike, then I think things like stadiums are nice to have when you have a country that operates like that. But then we need a new stadium. We need to build a new church.
We need shiny toys as legacy, shiny toys. Uhuru had SGR.
Expressway.
And Expressway. So he wants to get another expressway for Thika, Nairobi to Thika. I saw that. He wants to land a studio. He wants the Malabar train, and then he's doing...
I think also Nairobi Nakuru, no?
Yes, he also did an expressway to Mombasa.
And the Mombasa one?
Yes.
But how are those... So those are projects that will be commissioned
but that's money we're borrowing, man. That's money we're borrowing. And that's the problem. You should stop borrowing money because you can't afford to pay that money.
Our external debt is going to balloon so much.
It actually is...
Because we were like, I think 6.7 trillion last time I checked.
No.
External.
External, yes. And then the internal is about 5 trillion.
Yeah.
The Komewino saying that the government spends 12 billion a day, but you only raise 8 billion. So every day we're borrowing 4 billion shillings every single day. Those numbers are shocking. And then he's busy talking about projects. We just need a fiscal manager. And a fiscal policy rather. We don't need to have we should freeze all projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how do you make sense of what's going on in ODM at the moment?
ODM is...
Because in the last election, you worked in close proximity.
Yeah, I was in Azimio.
In Azimio. How do you make sense of ODM
I like it. I like the boat is being rocked. You see?
Yeah.
The old men and women in ODM were bending too much to...
Raila.
No, to Ruto.
To Ruto, sorry.
They're trying to... So Raila sold the party.
So it's Raila who sold the party?
Raila sold the party.
How so?
He took ODM to government and betrayed young people.
But he's always been in government.
Yes, but this
through handshakes.
But this last one was a betrayal because he wasn't part of the movement. So he used that opportunity to get into government. When he got into government, what he promised to deliver to Ruto, he died before delivering. Now, so this
the broad-based?
Yeah, yes, and also a coalition before the next election.
That was actually agreed upon?
I believe that Raila was going to campaign for Ruto. He was in too deep. Yeah? He has ministries, he was in too deep. And maybe he would have gotten one of his people to be deputy president. But now, but it is in Ruto's interest to destroy ODM. Because it is in his interest.
It makes it easier for him.
It also makes it easier for the people in ODM to fold and get into his party.
Yep.
So the rebels are Sifuna and Babu and the likes. And
the Linda Wananchi team.
I don't know. They're not Linda in anyone. But,
but that's what they're calling themselves.
Yeah. Linda ODM.
But then also,
Linda Chama.
It clearly shows there was no clear succession plan internally within ODM.
But there's no succession plan in this country.
Yeah. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist because you succeed when I die. Someone has to die for you to succeed. As in, that's a succession plan in this country.
Yeah. But also...
Like, for example, what Uhuru should have done in Jubilee, should have left the party and gone to do other things with his life. But he's stuck in Jubilee and took Jubilee to a loss.
Yeah, a big loss.
A big loss, yeah.
Because it clearly... Okay, from my own observation, and maybe I'm wrong, it feels like there's a lot of people who are in ODM just because they were directly benefiting from Raila. So they knew being close to Raila would guarantee them a position in government, regardless of whether it was going to be electoral or through a nomination. And now that the guy is out, they've completely moved on.
So the majority of them are Raila orphans.
Literally.
Literally. Without Raila, they're confused.
Yeah.
Because their base was built through ODM and through Raila Odinga. Because without the ODM and the Raila name, they're nothing.
Yeah.
So they're struggling right now. So when your father dies, you become a foster child. So they don't be fostered by Ruto. or not after Baba Kambo.
Literally. Yeah. So then, do you think the very able youth leader, Gen Z leader, mwenye anakuanga on low battery 24/7, the brother, do you think he's more interested in money by attaching himself to Ruto or power? Do you think he's genuinely interested in power? I feel like it's just more money.
I think he doesn't know what power is. He has never held power, never had any power, never had any sway.
You see, zero influence. Even now he's nominated. He's in because he was nominated. Because of the brother. I'm talking about Oburu. So no kwanga low battery 24/7.
I thought you were talking about Kasmua.
Nah, I strongly believe Kasmol was always with Ruto, even when he was parading himself with Raila, he was already here. But we can talk about Kasmol. I was talking about
Oburu. Let me tell you, by the way.
So Oburu is youth leader.
Well, so Oburu is an old man. He's old enough to be my grandfather, and he lost his brother. And I think in the process, he lost his mind. Because a grandfather should not be fighting with his grandkids.
It's very shameful.
And because, it's shameful, number one. Number two, you have to look at your lifeline. How many years do you have left in your life? So what you need to do is offer leadership to the young people. And the young people are saying, we don't need a stepfather. We don't need to go to another party. Let's fix our party and prepare for the elections. But you say, we don't take up power.
Don't take up power.
And no Viagra.
Blue pill.
I'm saying,
So then
it raises the date.
12 noon.
Itamwamsha tu. Well, he has a small baby, and I focus. I have 2 wives. Should focus on his wives, man.
So then, ingine kina Babu and Sifuna.
I think what they're doing, what Babu and Sifuna are doing is very important because by protecting ODM, I think it's more Linda ODM. Linda ODM, when I Linda maybe Baba's legacy in a way, number one. Number two, they get to get their own credibility by themselves, like they become their own people, because they're under the shadows of Raila Odinga. Because every reference is Raila. Now they can say, we fought for this party ourselves.
Yeah.
And to defend party. It's good. And
also, Joe Mshiri posted something a few weeks ago, just in regards to what's happening to ODM and why a lot of the Sifunas have to fight for ODM. Because he just said, when you look at ODM, it's beyond that. This is 20 years of work, but also it's means to power. And power can make or break. Power can change this country overnight.
Yes.
So then they have to find a way to fight for it, because clearly the older guys, the Uburus, have completely given out
the charmer.
The charmer. So I agree with that from the perspective of this is bigger than just the individuals, and the party is essential. Whether we support ODM or not, it's essential for ODM to still be there.
Yeah, ODM is important. Yeah.
Jalango Sifuna, Nairobi senator.
I think you're disrespecting Sifuna. Jalango is a disappointment. So he's always been a clown. But when he got elected, you have to end your clownish behavior. And so I don't know what he's looking for. And I think, there's a man called Olowaringo. Olowaringo was a court jester. He used to call Moi the Prince of Peace. Imagine that. He was an orator.
Prince of Peace.
Yeah, Olowaringo. And when Olowaringo's life ended and there was an obituary, it was in shame. Who remembers JJ Kamodho? Kamodho was the guy from Moi. He was praising Moi when Moi was killing people and doing all manner of things. And in history books, he's seen as a traitor and a sellout. Sharif Nasir, the father of Abdul Samad, he was another Kanu hawk.
Yeah.
And Jalango is becoming that. And I wonder how these men and women don't have self-respect. It's okay to support a president. I respect you for that.
It's your constitutional right.
You can support him all you want, but do not insult our intelligence and do not make us look like fools. And they're doing that. Now, times have changed. The Kenyan politician is in trouble. They think that in the past, you target when people fight, it was ethnic violence, tribal violence. Now, these people are saying we're not going to fight among ourselves. We're going to fight the people who are destroying our country. In 2024, what want to salimia politicians, greetings going to their homes and all that. Some politicians had to move their mothers from the village.
Yeah.
And their parents from the village.
Some lost their homes.
That thing is going to come back with vengeance. The more these politicians come to us and insult us, you're going to go to a restaurant, no one is going to serve you. So there's a disrespect that is coming among the political class. They haven't seen it yet. You remember you were calling Kimani Ichung'wah Muka Ruto?
Yes.
Yeah. They haven't seen anything yet. Kenyans are developing a disdain for corrupt people. And Jalango is going to be soaked by that. And, there's a time, power ends. So all these guys protecting bad leadership, they are going to pay the consequence of that individually, not as a collective. Look at Baba Yao, who is in court right now and in jail. Okay. He's alone. Alitukana Ruto, it's not that he's the biggest criminal.
Yeah, but he's one of the criminals, but not the biggest for sure.
Alitukana Ruto. So the system has worked very well to ensure that he stays in jail, Yeah, so I feel sorry for Jalango. Yeah.
Do you think he's actually vying for governor, for senator out of his own wish, or
he's clowning Sifuna. He's clowning Sifuna.
Yeah.
He's kufanya nye bubu nye. I think alifundisha na weka mawe. Huo weka mawe wake mwenye kwa State House. So I think the way he's behaving.
Yeah.
If you are walking and you find that tortoise on top of a tree, just know someone put it up there.
Yeah.
So Jalango has been put to that. I'm a tumo too.
Yeah.
In 2027, there's a guy called Stanley Livondo who voted against Raila.
Yes.
He was sent to Kibira by Kibaki to go and vote against Raila and was given a lot of money. So Jalango is that kind of a guy. He's being used. And I dare say that he's being used.
Yeah.
And it will end badly.
So because also he vied under ODM. It's weird what's happening. Like immediately Baba just was out of the picture.
I don't even I think Raila had a big heart because
I think so. It's
the level of betrayal Raila has gone through.
Over the years.
Once. Hey. But also he used to betray people. So he understands. So order for order.
Yeah.
Because
it's his karma, basically.
Half of the people in Ruto's government were ODM people.
Including Ruto himself.
Even he was in ODM.
He was co-founder.
He was taken to The Hague when he was in ODM.
Yep. He was a co-founder of ODM. He says it all the time.
Yeah, he wasn't really a co-founder. But people should say, wanapiganga do story.
Yeah.
Alikuwa member of ODM.
Yeah. Not co-founder.
Tubache stories za jabu.
How do you remember Raila?
Wow, how do I remember Raila? That's a good one, huh?
Especially because in his last election alive, you worked with him directly.
So Raila was a Democrat. Raila fought for this country. I believe he spent about, 9.5 years in jail.
Yeah.
Fighting for this country, paid a heavy price. And then he realized in power you have to negotiate. Negotiated with Moi when he was in NDP. Negotiated with Kibaki. Negotiated with Uhuru.
Negotiated with
Ruto. So at the end of Raila's life, he became like a man without, what would I say? He lost his direction. I think Raila would have died as president if he had allowed 2024 to continue. Because this government was going to go home. Mm-hmm. But he gave this government a lifeline. So he failed us. However, if you look at his overall contribution to our democracy, Kenya is a better country because Raila existed. So we can never take away that from him.
Yeah.
That Kenya is better today because Raila fought for such spaces, but at a very great price in his own family, in his own life, in his own health. And where I feel like he let us down is that he had a chance to ensure that like Nyao torture chambers were open and those torturers were pursued. Like every time he had a chance to ensure that there's full rights and full democracy, he hesitated. And that's where Kenya is still stuck. When they took power with Kibaki, 2002 to maybe 2005, or even 2007 before they fell out, they had a chance to go after criminals. When they had a grand coalition, 2007, 2012, they had a chance to actually do a lot of good things for this country. But they failed to institute some of those lasting changes.
Yeah.
But he did well. He's a man, he did well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, if he had helped do succession in his party, the people who are in government now would have been in his government because he'd have won the election 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I think the Kasarani-Kisirani thing, where they went to Kasarani and he didn't allow those elections to happen, he should have let them happen. Because there's no one who could have taken a shot at Raila when he was alive. No one. So his space was secure, but he did not allow too much democracy in his own party. Even now, when you look at ODM, how does your brother take over the party as the party leader? It's not family business.
It's not.
Right?
Even without due process, because their ODM constitution has, what is it called?
Succession.
Has the succession
He
plan.
had two or three deputies would have succeeded.
Yeah.
But also Raila in his lifetime denied Luo Nyanza and Western good leaders because of direct nomination. Tuju would have been re-elected, and he did a lot of good in Rarieda, went against Raila, lost an election. So there are places where they had very bad leaders because Raila endorsed or gave people nomination.
Yeah.
He was a flawed man.
He had so much power. How did he amass all that power? There's places in this country where if Raila endorsed you, it was guaranteed you'd win.
I think people believed in him.
Is it because fundamentally, and especially when he was beginning, he was always on the side of the people? Because even when they speak about how ODM was formed, it was just a party that was supposed to be on the side of the people.
Yeah, so he was the side of the people for a long time. But along the way, he developed a taste for fine things in life.
Yeah.
Chess cars, carpets, all those things.
Yeah.
Deals with government. Making money with government. Yeah.
I think also the other problem with these handshakes and like the broad-based government that we have now is that it just completely weakened opposition. Because now the people who are supposed to keep the government in check would always end up in government.
Even the debt you're talking about right now, the debt ceiling has been raised by these same politicians. The ones who are now saying Linda Mwananchi. I was thinking about when Rigathi was impeached. A friend of mine is a senator, Senator Mtata.
Yeah, okay
Mtata. And he said everyone was voting yes on the impeachment, was getting 5 million. 3 million before you vote, 2 million after you vote. He said Parliament, like Bunge Towers, you could have thought everyone had bought a new computer because everyone was carrying a bag with 5 million shillings. People were given 5 million.
So that actually happened?
Yes, people were given money to impeach. Should actually get Mtata here.
I'd love to speak to Mtata.
I'll get
Sasa Willie
and Mtata, yes.
Even Githu Muigai, I'm really interested to speak to Githu
Githu and Nani are good friends, and Willie.
Willie, yeah.
So when you talk to Willie bring him Mtata.
Yeah. I think those are also necessary conversations to have,
and then
especially at this time.
Talk to even women leaders. There's Tabitha Say, there's Wahukara, Wandia Njoya.
Yeah, I've spoken to Wandia, Professor. But I'd love to speak to Wandia as well. Wandia, I think Wandia...
The dad is Timothy Njoya.
Yeah, Wandia cancelled me.
Why?
Because during the protest, we changed, now for Mic Check, my other podcast I did with Mariah and Mwas, we changed our programming. Our programming, we couldn't come and talk about Jimata Kwavera, so we changed our programming. But I remember when it started, we said we want to report it accurately and we want to have people who are involved from the different fractions because we wanted to just paint a whole picture. So in one of the conversations we had Kasmol, back at that time, and Wandia just cancelled me because of that, because we had a conversation with him, Kasmol.
Yeah, people have a right to express themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
So Wandia has a right to cancel you.
Unfortunately.
She'll love you back. She'll come back.
I love Wandia so much. So I don't know. So since then, I've just not been able to speak to her. Yeah, I love to speak Wandia's mind. So I was just saying in terms of easy handshakes and just weakening the opposition, because I feel like since 2007, Raila was just never the same again.
Yeah.
So much changed.
But also I think he had a lot of traitors around him. The way he has lost elections like those 4 or 5 times, is that even internally the people who work for him betray him. Then he forgives. Some people would never ever talk to them again. But I think he had a big heart in that sense.
How do you just forgive all these people? It's so strange.
I'm so sure it's because he did similar things to other people.
Yeah.
That people feel like Raila let them down. For example, when the coup of 1982 was planned and the coup did not succeed, people went to jail, including Raila. But there are people who lost their jobs and lost their lives. And over time, when Raila has been a prime minister and held other positions, they sued the government and they got compensation, but they've never been paid. People have died waiting. And when you're fired when you're 21, 22, 23, from the Air Force, no one could employ you for the rest of your life. So people's lives were destroyed, but he never followed through to say, you know what, can you get them compensated? Because he was in Kibaki's government. He was in Uhuru's government.
He's been in all these governments.
Yeah, he's been in all governments, but he hasn't done much about it. Yeah, so also there's a lot of nepotism in his team. So otherwise, let him rest in peace. I don't even know why we're discussing him.
Sure, man. So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, just in regards to the life you've lived and everything that you've done.
Is there a commercial break to get some water?
Of course. Yes. Please. So,
hey, Matao, nakuhonga. Make it rain.
Tumaliza na hizo and then I'll tell you.
We
continue. Yeah. So I was having a conversation with a close friend of mine, just in regards to the life you've lived and everything you've done. And it does require a lot of courage to do a lot of the things you've done in the way that you've done them.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, team courage.
Hashtag,
team
courage.
But also you've bared the cost of, speaking truth to power, because power doesn't like being told the truth. And, that comes at many things. So in hindsight now, do you think activism has given more meaning to your life? And are there aspects of your life that it completely took away?
So my life has always had meaning. So there's no...
So that didn't change even before?
No, because I think activism is a burden in my life. It's not like, and it's not a burden of joy. It's a burden of toil, pain, blood, hardship. I was telling my friend today that my phone is always on silent. My phone doesn't ring. Because if my phone rang, I would never have a conversation. Because my phone rings all the time. People with problems, SMS with problems. So activism has been like a burden.
Yeah.
But my life does have meaning because I'm married, I have 3 kids. And so the fulfillment that I want...
Beautiful family, man.
Asante.
Yeah.
So that fulfillment comes from my family, right? So activism is me paying rent to be in this world. Activism is me giving back because God has given me a calling to make a difference in people's lives. And then he has given me like a big megaphone that when I say something, it's hard. So I use my megaphone to speak about other people's issues. Yeah.
Yeah. So the people who they say a fraction of people who admire what you do and how courageous you are, but then the fraction of them that criticize some of the methods.
Okay.
Do you feel anything about that or no?
So this is how life works. If everyone agrees, you're either an idiot or doing something very, very wrong.
Yeah.
There's no day that you'll have everyone agreeing with you. And that is fine. That's democracy. That's freedom for everyone, right? And so my work is not defined by people's praise or people's criticism. It does not define the work that I do.
Yeah.
I do the work that must be done because it's important and it must be done. So I let people speak because the people who praise me today, tomorrow they insult me. People insult me tomorrow, the other day they praise me.
They praise you.
So it goes like that. When I was in Azimio, I was praised. Oh, you're working for Raila. Oh, that's great. When I called Raila out, oh, you're a Kikuyu. So that's expected.
Yeah.
So it's neither here nor there.
So the other problem, not a problem, but the other mentality that I also think we have to get away from is the fact that, say today, I decided I support Ruto. Saying that in the last election.
Yeah.
And then the guy gets in and he's not not performing. No, I didn't.
I was about to walk out.
No, I didn't. No, I'm just giving you an example. So say as I decided to support Ruto, then Ruto gets in and starts misbehaving and not working. So as soon as I start saying that, guys, I don't support this guy anymore, it's almost as if when you support Ruto, you have to support Ruto forever.
You don't have
Kenya, but most people will call you out or say now they don't trust what you say anymore just because you supported someone and when they fucked up, you stood up against the fuckery.
That means you're a good person. You're consistent. Because you supported someone because they're supposed to do something, supposed to do X. When they failed to do X, you went against that because they betrayed you as well.
Yeah. So
you have a right to speak. I think Kenyans have a lot of emotions, very strong emotions, right?
Facts.
And they're allowed to vent. But do you know the people on social media are just a minority of the population of this country? So so social media is not Kenya per se.
Definitely. It's like they say Nairobi is not Kenya.
Yeah, so it's not. So sometimes, me, I walk in these streets. Like, nimetoka kula lunch, there's a place called Migingo hapa chini. And Migingo for lunch. You'll find me on a border in Tao. The level of insults I get online, sijai tukana na mse in real life.
Sindio? We say this all the time. Kuna wase online wazanatukana sijui ni drop episode and stuff. In person. The love in person.
I don't get it.
Bako unashinda hao watu wako wapi?
Sometimes I roll alone. I never find these people. I'm like, yeah. So social media is another world.
Yeah.
My son has a quote. My son says, people treat you like God. They deny you exist until they need you. Like, if I go on my inbox, sometimes I find guys who had insulted me last year, they were telling me, niko na shida hapa, nilishikwa na polisi, nimekelewa bangi, nisaidie. So I just do what I can to help.
Yeah. And also the guys who push the narrative that you only do what you do because you get paid to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So my answer to most people would be, so how much money is enough money for you to risk your life over and over again? Like, how much can I pay you now for you to literally risk your life over and over again? Give me a figure. No one gives me a figure.
So let me give you a figure right now. If I give you $1 billion right today, let's say $1 million. Let's talk money that you can actually think what you can do with $1 million today, and you're very, very. If I give you right now $1 million, how would you feel?
Of course, I'd be happy, bro. What do you mean? $1 million I'd be on my way to JKIA. I mean, interview is done.
Very good.
Like, Bonnie, next week, when are you available?
Then I let you know tomorrow you're going to die.
I'd never take it.
There you go, right?
Straight up.
So there's no money that is worth my life, right? So this narrative is guys trying to
discredit.
There's government propaganda, number 2. But also you have haters, number 2. And so we're also haters. But guys trying to not to understand or to justify, to think they want to be able to understand why I do this thing.
Yeah.
And so they think it's money. But there's no money that is worth being tortured, being molested, being shot and going for surgery. There's no money that is worth all that.
That's what I mean.
So, but people have to find a justification. Now, there's a problem as well at the same time. So Kenyans hold me to a very higher standard than the elected leaders. People they pay a salary to. Me, I've never earned a single public cent. And if there's money coming to my account because I'm being paid to do these things, you see, when the government was freezing accounts, they would have frozen my account kitambo sana.
You'd be an easy target.
But the government knows that I do genuine business and I do genuine hustle. So the government tries and uses bloggers to discredit me. And then they throw frivolous charges on me, but they know that there's no money. Because if there's money, they would have come for the money. Then if there's no money...
They would have exposed you immediately.
And if there's no money, that means I don't do anything. I've done this for about 18 years under Kibaki, under Uhuru, now under Ruto, and I'm still here. Yeah.
I think also there's, which happens in any sector, even within this creative economy, is that there's a few bad examples that would always spoil for everyone. So,
but which are those bad examples?
I don't know. It's like saying when Mandamano was at its peak, there was a lot of people who were anti-government. And then suddenly their tones just changed.
Now,
we realized...
Those are not bad examples. They're good examples of sellouts.
Exactly. They're good examples of sellouts.
Yes.
So then people start to realize, and I think also, because the government is the chief of propaganda, the government realized that if they can compromise a few people, then people will get to a point where they don't know who to trust. Easy for the government.
That's how they're trying to do that. And then if they can't acquire you, they attack you.
Yeah.
So, but it comes with the territory. Tushawazoea.
I think one of the things that scares me the most is how the three East African leaders are working together now.
Yeah.
Because you see Kizza Besigye arrested at Riverside, taken back to Uganda. We had police from Uganda who were in Kenya during Maandamano. And then the incident that happened to in Tanzania. And you can clearly see that the three of them sort of work together.
Even over the weekend, a guy called Shabaha survived an abduction in Nairobi by Tanzanians. They were trying to abduct him. Maria Sarungi survived another abduction last year. They were trying to abduct Maria Sarungi. So there's a lot of
which means the intelligence here would provide information.
Bobi Wine can't come to Kenya. In the past, would have come to Kenya, but he can't come to Kenya. He'll be abducted and taken back to Uganda.
Yeah, because now they give him back.
They're looking for him. So yeah, so they're working together. So Ruto admires Museveni a lot. And now Sulu.
I wonder why.
He wants to become Museveni. He wants to become a long-serving dictator.
I wonder why.
But he's going to become a one-term president. He will not allow him to grow to become a dictator. He's trying to learn how to become a dictator. But you're going to cut him to size.
Lucky for us, Man, like the one thing that helped us.
We're not out of the woods yet. The Constitution, yes.
The Constitution, yes. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But because, so the good thing with the Constitution is for them to change some of these things, we have to go to the ballot. And then no one is going, I don't think we'll go to the ballot now saying we want to extend the presidential term limit and guys will vote for it.
And you know why it would actually fail? Not even because of Kenyans per se. There are politicians in power who won't become president.
Oh yeah, and then you're telling us you want
14 years.
Because also they know like whatever is happening in Zimbabwe now.
Hey, Munagangwa.
So now they've extended till 2030 for him, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing they've done,
Parliament votes
for the president, not the people. But also if they're able to extend now, what tells you they can't extend again when it comes to...
That's how Mugabe began. That's how
everyone begins.
Hosni Mubarak began. That's where Gaddafi began. That's where Saddam began. That's how Ruto wants to go. But Ruto is going to fail.
It's not. I don't think it can happen in Kenya now.
It cannot.
I don't think it can.
Even especially because Ruto is scared of young people.
Do you think he's scared of young people?
Very scared. That's why last year he was arresting them for terrorism.
Yeah.
And rounding them up from Ukambani, Mombasa, Kisumu, taking them to Kahawa court, the terrorism court. Just trying to scare them and destroy their future.
Yeah, and all the abductions. Just people disappearing.
He's scared of young kids who are saying fuck Ruto.
I wonder... Then I wonder what it's gonna look like next year.
It's gonna be fireworks.
Yeah, already. I think next year is about not even next year. I mean, they're already campaigning. They've been campaigning. I wonder what time they work because they're always on the road, like you say.
No, Ruto does not work. Ruto. So you see, for a makanga to wake up in the morning, into matatu, anagongonga mabati hivi, anapanda juu, anafanya hivi. For a makanga, it is understandable. He's calling for passengers. Now, our president has become a makanga. Anamkanga tu, wangwana, kila siku. He's working so hard for us to like him. But people hate him for free. Even the guys going to take money from Nyota and all that. They can't stand the guy because they know very well that they are feeling the effects of bad governance. They're feeling the effect of inflation. They're feeling the effects of the reckless borrowing. So they know their reality. And also they remember that this man, this president, shot kids outside parliament. They were killed there.
Yeah.
And then he called them, what did he call prisoners?
Criminals.
Criminals.
Criminals, and when they were challenged then to produce the criminals. Because there's videotapes, there's pictures.
We said,
like, okay, if they're criminals, then provide the criminals.
But they will not.
Charge the criminals.
And now he's sending goons to harass people in rallies. So yeah, so he knows he's going home. So that has become a makanga. Kazi yake yanashinanga tu juu ya gari akifanya hivi.
Yeah. Are you okay discussing the Tanzanian...
No, it's not important.
Yeah.
I think the whole idea, so whatever happened was a violation of us. And I think we shouldn't platform it. It's not important. But you can ask questions around it, but I don't think it's important.
Yeah. So I think maybe, no, for sure, I respect that. Maybe the only question to ask around that would be, so are you allowed to go back in Tanzania or no?
No, I can't.
Legally?
I can't go back to Tanzania. They can't even allow me. I can't even pass through the border.
So legally they can't?
Yeah, I was deported. I'm in the system, I was deported. So they threw me at the border, then I had to walk back. So I had to self-deport and I was in the system. And already had a circular when I got there.
Yeah. Man, I'm so sorry, Boni.
Asante, tuko tu.
Is there any means to hold the government in Tanzania accountable?
We're suing them.
Like legally?
Yeah, we're suing them. The only problem we're suing them in their own country. The Arusha court. The East African court.
And Tundu is still in?
Tundu is still in. Besige is still in.
So how does that work ideally? You get like lawyers from the other side? Can Kenyan lawyers represent you there?
The East Africa court actually has Kenyan judges.
Okay.
Tanzanian, Ugandans.
Who has been convicted through that East African court? I don't know of a single
No, there's a judgment actually when, so it's a civil court.
Okay.
So there was a judgment for Martha Karua when she lost to Igoro. The Supreme Court of Kenya threw out the case and she had very good grounds because her election win was stolen. And in Tanzania, they ruled in her favor. But you can collect damages in this country. I don't know if she got the damages, but she did rule in her favor. So you can get some good rulings depending on the judges that you get.
Yeah. So the issue here is that if it's happening in Tanzania and Suluhu is still the president of Tanzania, then they're able to frustrate or slow down the process.
So the problem with the courts, they take forever. So it might be 2 years before they listen to us.
And it's intentional why they take forever, right?
Yeah, it takes forever. It's the same thing about this country. But let's talk about the sexual violence in Zanzibar. There's something about the coastal region that when you oppose the leadership, what they do is violate you sexually.
Yes.
And I think that
I saw that in Mombasa as well.
Yes, but I also think that, so it's very Zanzibari as well, Mombasa, Kilifi, all that. What I didn't know until recently is that after that girl was violated, that blogger in Mombasa, that the last governor was there for 10 years, used to do that to bloggers who were criticizing him. That's why people stopped criticizing him. And the guy's a cabinet minister because the shame.
No, people are very ashamed to come out and say what happened to them.
When you're a victim and you're violated in that particular way, especially if you're a man, you don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But it is actually a common thing in that particular area. It's a very common thing. I remember one time, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Or last year, but when I was arrested, and Babu Wino came to court on my behalf, and he told me there was a time he was arrested for calling Uhuru mtoto wa umbwa. And they came for him. Remember the time Babu alikuwa amepelekwa
Parklands. Industrial area.
Alipelekwa. Alizungushwa sana, but the way he went, he found people had been paid there to molest him. But luckily he was able to work the system, not for that to happen to him. So there's a time I was arrested and Babu came and said, by the way, you have to be very careful because that's what they do. Because it's very hard for every single charge I've been arrested with, even right now I have 2 court cases.
You're always in court.
Yes. I cannot be convicted.
Yeah. Because there are no grounds to convict
There's no grounds. There's no evidence. It's just frustration. But they can harm you when inside prison. They can inject you with something. That's what they did to Matiba. So you have to be very careful. I see guys saying, I want to be arrested. You can go and not come back out all right. We are lucky me and Agatha came out alive. And the Tanzanians actually, if they could have known what would have done after we left, they would have killed us. Could have been much easier for Tanzania as a country to have us dead than us coming back alive. But they did not think about it. But the other thing is also Kenyans and Ugandans and East Africans made so much noise when we were in jail. If you guys had kept quiet, we would have died in Tanzania. The level of torture we went through, we were dying. I could barely walk. So our survival also gave Tanzanians courage to speak out. There are guys who are speaking out today because me and Agatha spoke. And I salute Agatha's courage. She's a very courageous woman.
How is she now?
She's good. I spoke to her on Sunday. Leonie, Wednesday, I spoke to her on Sunday. Yeah.
So, I don't know, like, did you get professional help after what happened?
I'm going for therapy.
Is it getting better?
Life is survived day by day, bro. You don't survive the day life.
I know, but it's just that some things for me are things I imagine when people say.
Yeah.
But not some things are unimaginable in my mind.
Yeah, but you don't dwell on that.
But then it's your reality.
But you're not what happens to you. So that cannot define me. I think it's going to be very foolish of me to define my life over a moment because I'm many things. I'm multi-layered and I have many things that give me joy and happiness. So I would not let my pain define my journey in life.
Yeah.
Because if I let my pain define my journey in life, I'm going to be full of hate. Do you know I don't even hate Ruto? I have 0 hate for Ruto. I despise him, but I don't hate him. He does not feature in my mind every day.
Yeah, hate is a very strong emotion.
Yeah, I don't have that space for him. I actually don't think I hate anyone, which is interesting. There are people that I despise, I cannot stand them, but I don't hate them.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you that emotion. So I tell people you have to control yourself in a way that there are things that don't let events define you or people's praise or criticism. Because the truth is, if I let the outside environment define my happiness or my joy, I'll never be happy. Because every day, I'm like it's like working in a mortuary. I just get all the bad cases, bad stories. Oh, that one has been raped. Oh, some of the things we don't even post. Make a phone call, try and follow up. I run an entire department in my office to respond to people. Not people commenting on any, like people on my inbox. Oh, there's an issue, there's a case, this is a phone number, do that. I run a thing called Sema Ukweli that highlights people's stories.
Because
I'm just trying to help people. But I do not let that work come and define me, because if I let that do that to my life, it's every day I'll be like this. I'll never have a constant. So I try and protect my own space and my own joy.
Yeah. And also, would be, like you said, we can't let the system win. So they'll keep throwing things at you. And if those things just keep affecting you so much, then you won't make any progress.
True. And
you'll be afraid as well.
And also, there is another thing that they make you do. They overwhelm you with so many things, and you either end up in depression, alcoholism, broken relationships, in debt. They just overwhelm you. Then you become paralyzed. So you have to ensure that, define this as like a jacket that you wear and then you remove when you have to remove it. You don't have to carry that burden every day because you're not God.
Yeah.
Do
you think they'll shut down the internet in Kenya as well? I mean, they did it in Uganda and Tanzania. During Mandamano, the day we occupied Parliament, we didn't have internet for some time.
Nothing will save them. Nothing will save them. Even if they shut down the internet, nothing will save them. Even if they think they're going to steal the election, this election is not going to be stealable. It's going to be impossible to steal the elections. People will vote and protect their votes.
I mean, Azimio clearly didn't do that.
Azimio did not want to win. And I look at it, it's like it was just jokes.
Do you think they were just overconfident? They thought they already won?
Yeah, they were overconfident, but also they were solid. There was sellouts within the system. They were betrayed internally.
So I was also thinking about, at what point does activism become more effective from inside the system as opposed to just outside the system all the time? Was that partly why you vied, especially when you began with Starehe?
Yeah, I thought that I would be able to serve the people of Starehe better as a member of parliament. And because the things that you complain about, some of them are policy, some of them are legislative, some of them are things that you have to lobby. And I thought getting an elected position at that particular time would have helped. But that did not happen.
What is the electoral process like when, from the inside? What does that look like?
I'm not
at that time.
I'm on the outside, so I don't know from the inside. But the inside is actually, so the things about, so what you do as a member of parliament actually is oversight in legislation. So you oversight the government. So the things that I'm talking about, corruption and other things, that you provide oversight. That this thing about reckless borrowing, you ensure that the debt ceiling is in place. If the president misbehaves, you can impeach him, There are those things that are actually in the constitution. But our members of parliament have become socialites. Their work is to give out CDF, which I think is illegal. They should not be doing CDF. It's called NGCDF.
Because it's actually not supposed to be.
It's an illegal. It's an illegal thing. Don't give politicians money. Let them do the work they're elected to do. So, and then legislation, and then the things that I do, like going to, for example, legislation. Actually, I think we need to be able to. There are laws in our books that are just silly laws. The miscellaneous.
Like which one?
Preparing to commit a felony. The government can just come and look at you and say you're preparing to commit a felony. There's a law.
So what kind of proof do you need in court? They don't need any proof.
There's a law in Mombasa called Maeneo. Maeneo is a law that the government can arrest you. Ulishuko maeneo inakuanga na ubaya. Maeneo is prepared to commit a felony. Maeneo too. Then you're thrown in jail you can even be jailed for a month. There's loitering. I don't know what that means. There's vagrancy. They arrest you and they look like you're homeless and jobless and you don't have anything in your pocket. You can be arrested for that. Drunk and disorderly should not be in the constitution. Arresting someone for having 1 or 3 or 4 or 5 sticks of weed should not be there. I think they should actually legalize marijuana and turn it into a business, you see. Yeah. So there are things that you can actually legislate and make it a reality.
Yeah. But then what about the voter profile? What did you learn about the voter profile? By interacting with people? Because you took it to the ground, your house by house.
Yeah, I think...
And what were guys promising?
To drink.
Because that's a big one. Because all of us are voters.
What I learned about the Kenyan voter is the foolishness of the Kenyan voter. I go to Mukuru kwa Jenga slums. I go to Mukuru, I'm in somebody's house. He's there, he's a man, he has a wife, he has 3 kids, just like me. They're in a small, tiny house. Nyumba ya mabati, it's smelling of shit, man. And there in that place, there are no toilets. So these guys, they poop in the paper bags. So you poop in the paper bag, flying toilets, because every time you go to the toilet, it's 5 shillings. Family of 5, if you go like 3 times in a day, that's how much? 15 times 5?
That's just going to
that's
the
75.
75, yeah.
That's 75 for bathroom in a day. In a month, that's about 2K for the family. So going to the bathroom, inakuwa ni shida. So you buy jualas, you shit in jualas, then you throw them out. So I tell the guy, I know one of the reasons why there are no toilets in Mukuru, there's no sewer lines. So I said, what I'm going to be able to do is introduce, I'm going to build for you guys toilets and even use that, use the biogas use the waste as gas to do hot water. Like I'm going to build like toilet stations in the community, right? And because I struggled when I was going to school, in a school without books, I'm going to build libraries in the community.
Yeah.
So those are the things I'm going to do. Those things are not really the work of a member of parliament. Because the work of a member of parliament is oversight in legislation. But there's money, CDF money you can use to do that. So I said, I'm going to come and build for you guys libraries and all that. Then he asked me, you know when, ndugu yangu, unajua pale juu? Now asking where I'm going to, pale for the presidency. Pale juu tapigia nani kura? So this poor man in his house, in his stinky house, instead of thinking about what I can do for him as an elected member of parliament, he's wondering, among the candidates that were running, Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, who am I voting for president? So he can decide if he's going to vote for me. And I think that's the foolishness Kenyans have. Instead of thinking about yourself in your poverty and looking at the leader and say, how can this leader serve me better? You're looking at how does this leader align with my community? So I discovered tribalism, so nepotism, then there is the money politics, where voters perceived me to be poor. I was going around either walking or on a motorbike. And they despised me because I was poor. And they said, oh, nani ako na Jaguar? Jaguar ako na Jaguar. Mbogo alikuwa na Range Rover. They had convoy. They were flashy. They're like, why are you not flashy? Why don't you have a convoy? You know, these things. That's how it was.
It's almost laughable, to be very honest.
So I felt sad for the voters. Even now, I look at voters and I feel sad for them. Because there's been, like, for example, in 2013, I think, that's when Martha Karua and Ole Kiapi ran, I think, right?
Yeah.
Ole Kiapi was a good, I voted for Martha Karua in 2013, but Ole Kiapi was a good choice as well. Ole Kiapi would have made a good president.
Yeah.
Kenyans have always had a chance to elect good leaders, they fail.
We've always had options. We've always had options.
I think Polycarp Igathe would have made a better governor than Sakaja by far.
It's the problem of party politics, which goes down into tribal politics, where you know the thing here when someone is asking about the president because when I vote suti, so they call it suti.
The suit doesn't help you, and this
come on, the orange top down.
And I was telling those people, most of them, where we had a commercial yako, at least could afford a suti. The entire life the guy is working in Mjengo, he never owned a suit. Maybe they buy him a suit when he's getting into a coffin.
Yeah,
but he's still saying suti. It doesn't relate. Wewe mwenyewe hujaiva suti kwa maisha yako. Ulionea wapi? Ulisikia wapi?
For what occasion?
So just do a la carte. Chagua hapa na pale na pale.
What about the cost element? Because campaigns in Kenya are very expensive. And I'm assuming your competitors were giving out money.
They were giving money, they're dishing out. That's why 2017 when I came up with this idea. This is called a manifesto.
Can I see?
Sina kakitu. Niko na sera.
So the illusion of money.
No,
looks like money, you just can't bank
this,
it.
This is where you can cash in 2017. 2027.
Oh, this is for 2027?
Yeah, this is 2027.
Oh, sure, then let's go to that.
I'm running for president.
We are filming from Blink Studios. Shout out to Ledama. This is 29.
Ledama is over there. Me and Ledama used to work out together.
And then you stopped.
And then I stopped working out.
I'd be surprised if you told me you still work out. Anyway, badminton. So you want to walk across the street to State House in 2027?
Yes, I'll walk from, you'll see me in Uhuru Park, then I walk to State House.
Okay. So let's go through this. This says, nitapigana na corruption. So it's $100 dollar bill.
Yes.
100% shillings.
Yeah, what was that a dollar? Rich kid, only punk.
So 100% Kenyan shillings nitapigana na corruption. 10th August 2027. Clean politics, no handouts. Tujenge Kenya mpya. Tunayoipenda na Boniface Mwangi, the people's president. Scan to join our WhatsApp channel. So there's a QR code here which we'll add to the edit.
And you can donate to my campaign. You're asking me about the cost of elections.
Yeah.
So how I'm going to fund my elections. So the IBC puts the cap for presidential elections to 5 billion.
5 billion. And do they audit? Or you can spend as much?
Guys spend as much. No, they don't even audit. But they're supposed to. So me, I don't have money for elections. So I'm going to get money from Kenyans. But what I really need is votes. Yeah, just vote for me and get my vote. If you know that I'm running, tell your friends about it, tell your family about it. Let's spread the word.
Yeah.
At the back,
so essentially,
is a key thing. The back side is actually about you promising not to sell your vote, because Kenyans sell their votes. And then promising that you're not going to vote on long tribal lines.
Okay, so I'll read it.
Okay.
So one, for the till number, how you can support Boni, we'll still add it on the edit as well.
It's 50, 10, 215.
Or you can send money to 01...
17.
This is 0117 777 111. So 0117 777 111 5010215. So the pledge: I love my country, Kenya, and I will never allow corrupt politicians to destroy it. I pledge to fight for a peaceful, just, and united Kenya on August 10th, 2027. I will join my fellow citizens to vote for genuine change from MCA to the presidency. We will build a nation free from poverty, injustice, and corruption. Hey, at least umeka zile vitu zangu hapo. I will not elect a leader based on tribe, nor be bribed to sell my vote. My vote is my power to change Kenya for the better. Together we will build a new Kenya that works for all of us. Mimi ni Mkenya. Oh, so this is just translation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then at the bottom, we get the future we fight for. So if you want a better Kenya, you have to fight for it.
We have to fight for the Kenya that we want. So why did you decide you want to vie for President Boni in 2027?
Well, I saw that my country, Kenya, that I love very much, is heading in the wrong direction. And I feel like I could offer the leadership that Kenya wants, a person of integrity, good character, and someone who can lead this country from the clutches of corruption and bad leadership into a new dawn. I believe Kenya needs a fresh start, and I've proved myself. I've been an activist and a freedom fighter for the last 17 years. And I want now...
17 years?
It's been 17 plus, almost 20 years. And I want to lead this country now into prosperity, into progress. And I want us to imagine a country that has no corruption, a country where the leaders serve the people, a country where there's free education, free without paying a single cent, free healthcare, and then a country that you don't pay for water. There are 20 million Kenyans who don't have clean water. So things that, the basics.
Yeah.
Article 43 of the Constitution. Those things.
Which we read earlier.
Yes, I want to fulfill that for every single Kenyan. So I'm saying you can cash this in 2027 because I'm going to serve you.
Because I think it's also very essential to speak about some of these things so that anyone who's watching or listening can visualize and decide for themselves. Can we maybe go through the key things in your manifesto, some of the key things?
My manifesto is
just... You mentioned healthcare, you mentioned corruption.
And my manifesto, actually, I'm not going to...
So this is...
No, it's the Katiba you're holding. Okay. Article 43. Article 43. The thing was page 33.
What chapter was it?
Chapter 4. It was Bill of Rights.
The Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
Saizi umekumbuka ni chapter gani? Chapter 4. Yes, 43. Now I can find it. I'm becoming good at this thing. This physical...
Karatasi.
Bruh, the internet has really spoiled us.
I know.
But I mean, it's a nice thing because now I don't have to walk around with my phone and this. I have this on my phone. Okay, so healthcare?
Education.
So how do we achieve healthcare, especially and we're having this discussion with Mwase and Mariah on Mic Check literally yesterday, because Chris Baby did a video and she said she spent like 251K to give birth recently, and then we were just asking around in terms of people being able to get quality healthcare. Hospitals don't have medicine. If you go to public hospitals, it's such a mess. So how do we fix that? What are the practical ways we can fix that?
So they're collecting. We have a 2.4 trillion budget. You can fund healthcare. You don't have to worry about getting money from other sources. So any country that has progressed has to get 3 things right. Okay. You have to get healthcare right, so people don't die from preventable diseases. Preventable and curable diseases. Yeah. So if it's preventable, it's also curable. So people will have good healthcare. So you don't have to sell your cow, sell your land to take care of your health. Number 2, education. That someone doesn't have to sell their body or do slave jobs to get an education. And then number 3, security. Ensuring that everyone is safe and that the laws work equally before everyone. So the countries that we look up to, like the Scandinavian countries, all socialist countries, you pay taxes. So you pay about, at the moment, Kenyans are paying 43% of their pay slip is going to taxation, right? So that money is more than enough to be able to take care of health and education and security. Then people are going to sort themselves out, because when people are educated and they're healthy, they're going to be productive for the country.
Because we don't have a revenue collection problem. What we have is just expenditure. It's just an expenditure.
But the other thing I would like us to do, I think the way, if you go to most countries, people tap in and tap out, right? So you have a lot of doctors working in the private sector. So where they work, they were employed by government, they run private hospitals. But if you're paying doctors very well and they work in private hospital, when they key in, you know what time they keyed in and what time they have left the work. So the same way, if you go to a police station, you know how many people on patrol, where they are at. The same way you should actually have for the doctors as well. That when they go to a hospital, you know how many doctors are here. Now, the problem that we have about medicine is actually theft of medicine, where a politician will flag off the same truck in 10 hospitals, then take them back to the supplier and get a cut from it.
So the supplier can sell it again.
So there's also an accountability issue. We need to be able to put, the way we have systems in the supermarket for stock taking, every single government institution should have a similar system to ensure when the medicine come out, there's a patient, there's a name of a patient, and they got that. When they talk about SHA losing 11 billions, that's direct theft, because that money was sent to bank accounts. The money can be tracked or traced, but they don't want to do that. So there's a failure of accountability. So we don't have a money problem, we have a leadership problem.
Yeah.
That's what I want to fix.
And Professor Wandia,
yes,
who's now hopefully my next BFF again.
Yes.
The way she puts it is, our biggest problem is a problem of values. Like, until we correct values, then we'll still keep ending up in the same problem, because we'll elect people, as long as they don't have good values, they'll keep stealing, and then the problem continues.
I totally agree with that, because if you look at the schools that are top performing sometimes,
yeah,
and there was examination leakage, or they stole the election. The reason why that happens, because parents give teachers money to buy the stolen election and buy the leakages. So it's true, there's a value problem in this country,
yeah,
where everyone wants a shortcut, where sometimes you don't even hate the thief, you wish you were the ones who were stealing. And there lies the problem. So even the leaders we have in power are somewhat a reflection of the country as it is right now.
I mean, there are people like us. They are our neighbors, they are our brothers, they are our sisters.
Yeah, even the church, there are people in our church who are just as corrupt. So there's actually a value problem.
Yeah.
And so can we just redefine those values and say, what do you want as a country? And the values in the Constitution, like, there's nothing that I'm speaking about that is not in existence. We just need to practice those things.
Yeah. So if we looked at the political side of leadership, I mean, because the president is a political position, how practical is it to be president and run the country if you don't have majority in parliament? So in terms of members of parliament?
There's a movement actually going on right now. It's called Fagia Water. And it's saying, let's clean up and send everyone.
Drain the whole swamp.
Drain the swamp.
Yeah.
If that actually happens, then you have a new leadership. So this is a moment of change for Kenya. If we get it right, we're going to be good to go, and Kenya is going to be fixable. If you get it wrong, and then kuhama Kenya, because there'll be no country left.
Yeah, because a lot of people criticize what is called the Gen Z movement from last year, which was.
Can you pause kidogo?
So we were discussing just the political.
What do you think of this? Because this is where the political thing. But
yeah,
what do you think? So I've been talking to Kenyans, and they're saying we need to think about capital punishment. You know, they hung Dedan Kimathi. The guy used to look like you.
Man.
He was innocent.
That's my grandfather, man.
He's your grandfather for real?
No, okay, not by blood.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Wishful thinking.
Well, you look like him.
I do.
Yeah, people
Unajua watu wangapi wameniambia I shouldn't change my look because they have a project that they want to cast me. I'm like, okay, but so far nothing has come through. But now
Do not
I'm still
change.
waiting.
You look like a freedom fighter.
Thank you. And I'm fighting for freedom.
You're fighting for freedom.
Yes.
That's good. So what do you think?
So what do I think? I wouldn't go this route. Just because. So what I'll do is, I think this is a bit too extreme in 2026. What I'd do is I'd jail all of them forever, life in prison, and then I'd retrieve every single coin, anything that is in their names or any of their families that
recover stolen assets.
I'll recover everything. Because imagine if we recovered all stolen assets now. Even if we decided we want to use that to clear our external debt.
Can you become first world?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'd recover all assets. And by all, I mean, I'm sorry even if you worked the first 50 years and genuinely own stuff. We're just taking it. I'll recover everything and then I'll jail them in life forever.
Send them to committee.
Forever. But I wouldn't take someone's life.
But Kenyans are saying that we should actually change the constitution to hang the corrupt.
I think it's too extreme. Because my only problem with, even now, the Waititu guy we're speaking about, as much as we know it's political, he's stole. And I'm saying, as much as we know the fight is political, I mean, he's in prison now. Yeah. But has anything been recovered?
Yes. So they have frozen some of their assets.
Frozen.
Oh, but he got back some of the hotel, actually.
He did.
He got back.
And now they reduced his bail to how many millions? 20?
20 million.
I think like 20 million.
Yeah.
So my problem is in Kenya.
So imagine jail, hang, recover. So
jail, recover.
No, she's in jail, convict.
Yeah.
Hang.
Then hang. So maybe I just pass the hanging only.
So hanging, so you're taking the assets.
My biggest problem, Bonnie, is that a lot of people who steal from Kenyans, the most they do is lose their job. A job they don't need anymore.
But I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you go to any slum in Kenya today, or any urban town, and someone snatches a phone or steals a mirror, what happens to them?
Most of them are mobbed. Mob justice.
And what happens to them?
Nothing. They die. No, those who are mob...
they die.
They die, yeah. Mob justice, they die. I thought the ones who get away with it.
So Kenyans find lynching poor people. You draw the line on rich people.
That is a fact.
So because Kenyans are fine when we shoot an armed robber or 5 people are robbing, one of them had a gun, the police execute the 5 of them, and Kenyans celebrate and say the police have done a good job.
Personally, no. Even for the mob justice, I don't support.
I feel you. But
even the police who kill criminals, who are actual criminals in the slums especially, I'm like, that's why we have
I'm
the
against
court system.
extrajudicial killings. But this is a judicial killing. This is a judicial killing.
Okay. So you'd actually bring back the corporal punishment?
Not corporal punishment.
Not corporal, sorry. Like,
death by hanging.
Death by hanging.
Death by hanging.
Yeah.
Should come back. So that when you're stealing from us, it's an shingo. Now, let's talk about this country. There's something called the curse of the educated. So in this country, when you get an education, in the past you used to come serve the country, become a civil servant, do well and change the country. But nowadays, there's a percentage of this country where they get an education and their work is to rob this country dry. Number one, you begin with lawyers. There's not a single deal in this country that is a bad deal that didn't have a lawyer in the transaction.
In the whole world.
Whether it's an SGR deal or the Eurobond deal, every deal has a lawyer involved.
Yes.
Then let's come to engineers.
Yeah.
The road engineers, badly designed roads that are not completed, substandard roads that engineers approved. Let's come to city planning, urban planners, people who agree and approve of houses that have no windows. So basically, there's a class of the educated in this country that are harming our nation. And so when you talk about public hangings, you're not going to only hang politicians. You're going to hang people who badly designed roads that killed people. You're going to hang people who designed buildings that actually collapsed and people died. So you're going to say an eye for an eye. If you're an economic thief and your theft caused death, you pay with the neck. So people will fear cutting corners. So if your actions lead to death, then you should die.
Okay, may I say the dying is extreme. Everything else I agree
with. What is extreme?
Dying...
If your actions cause death, why shouldn't you die?
I mean, that's why life in prison exists, Bonnie. And I don't think there's anyone who still wants to spend the rest of their life in prison. I think that's already... Okay, then send them to solitary confinement forever. No, I think that's already enough punishment.
I understand that.
And it would still set a good example.
I think it's also a good example. But some people should be removed from the face of the earth. Because you're breathing oxygen, you're eating 3 meals a day, and Rex Masai is dead. My
only problem with killing people because of some crimes and some other things is that it's usually killing people.
It's not killing people.
I mean, if by definition it is.
No, it's a death sentence. Yeah. It's death
judicial. You said judicial
killing.
Judicial killing.
It's death by hanging.
So my only problem with that is that it leaves no room. I mean, so I think you're giving, it will give some people a lot of power.
Who?
And what we've seen, I mean, whoever is responsible, it could be a judge, it could be...
But judges have a lot of power. They send people to death Actually, this past week, a judge sentenced someone to death.
Yeah, but in Kenya, that means life in prison.
Because they defiled a 7-year-old gun thrown in the toilet.
But that means life in prison, no?
But the guy is still alive and there's a parent who is crying somewhere. Every day because my son was killed. This man is thriving in life.
I mean, I see the logic.
Thriving in court, and maybe he's going to write a book.
In a committee.
Yeah.
I mean, I see
my life in crime.
I see the like, I see the logic when if someone took someone's life, then logically it does make sense to take their life. I see that, but I just think that life in prison and recovering stuff is still...
Bro, 11 billion lost in healthcare, right?
11 billion talanta recently as well.
Even another 11 billion talanta. How many lives could have been saved? How many kids don't have an education because that money was stolen? We need to stop glorifying corruption. A thief is a thief. If people are fine with lynching, mwizi wa simu, na mwizi wa mekudunga kisu, na mwizi wa tire, pia hawa.
But also, they say sometimes extreme measures are needed when the situation is also
There's
extreme.
A guy called Jerry Rawlings.
Okay.
Jerry Rawlings overthrew got into power in 1979 through a coup. And I think he rounded up 2 presidents and 3 generals, or 3 generals and 2 presidents, took them to the beach and shot them. Ghana is the only country in the world, in Africa rather, the only country in Africa that has peaceful transition between government and opposition. You lose, you leave power. You don't protest. Opposition loses power, they hand over. Because of Jerry Rawlings' example. 5 people were shot in one day on the beach.
In Accra?
End of story, yeah.
Okay, so listen, I know I need to release you soon.
Yeah.
Lastly, because we moved straight into this. When you introduced your new weapon, the longer one. So the longer one is for what?
Someone like you, who's defending them.
And then the short one is for the ones who committed the crimes.
Depends how, if your sins are longer.
So it depends on what you did. Different sizes for different people.
Yes, but no. We think we need to tutanyonga how.
Yeah. So because so that we answer it, because we had brought it up, was now the political side of you even running for president.
Yes.
I think my question was, how possible is it to run a country if you don't have majority in parliament? Just based on what we've seen.
So you get elected by the movement, and if there's a fagia out a movement,
okay,
I will not be elected alone. There will be many of us. I'm not alone. You're many in the movement. Wanangoja time.
There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people. Yeah. Kenya can change in one election.
I agree.
Yes.
All it takes is one election.
One election will change.
And that's why 2027 is very critical and very crucial. Partly why I started doing this second pod now was because this allows me to have a bit more conversations.
Yeah. I was still don't come to the other one for fun.
No, I want you to. No, you have to come. Yes. You have to agree. You for vibes.
I'll come. I can even come with net.
Bro, can we actually do it with net?
Yes, it's gonna be fun.
Please let me know when.
Okay.
For sure, let's do that with net.
Yeah, okay.
Was because this new show doesn't have a schedule. So with Mic Check, we drop every Wednesday, and then we drop every Sunday. Then on Friday, we're trying something called, Patreon. So membership. Guys pay
I know
monthly.
Patreon for other reasons.
Okay, so we have like a Patreon on YouTube for membership.
Because I read other people's work.
I assume. Yeah. So Fridays we drop that.
Yeah.
So with this show, I don't seen a program. If I record 4 in a week, I drop 4. If I record 1 in a week, I drop 1.
Okay.
But also was for me to really start learning. It got to a point where I was so pissed off with the system, I completely disconnected. I lost so much interest. And in that process...
They're a pathetic voter.
I know.
Yeah.
But you see, that's why I'm like, I have to do better. But in that process, I realized time had moved and I had completely disconnected. It's like almost as living in a bubble.
Yeah.
But it was just out of frustration. So what this helps me as well is learn in the process. Like I've learned so much by speaking to you already. And hopefully, also not hopefully, I know the other guys are learning as well.
Yeah.
So that's partly why, and I really want to hold a lot of conversations that I believe will be helpful because 2027 is a very important year for us.
It is.
And we have to do something, man.
And we have to do things now before that time. We also need to fight this narrative of he's going to win, there's going to be rigging. No. I think even if there's going to be rigging, at least have a voter's card and vote so there's something to rig.
Make it hard for him to rig them.
Because if you have an overwhelming majority, you can't steal large scale. You can steal like the one for Raila Odinga and Ruto, which was 200,000 votes. And there's about 40.
You think that was stolen, by the way?
If it was, I don't know what happened. Okay. I have no idea what happened in that election. They think it was stolen. I think we slept on the job. But he won 200,000 votes. There's about 48,000 polling stations. That means you steal like 3 votes per polling station, right? Per polling stream. That means, but if you overwhelmingly vote against him, and there are like 5 million clear votes, you cannot steal those.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. So, and then not every Kenyan can be bribed. So my appeal is to the silent majority. The 10 million who did not vote the last time, the people who don't go to political rallies, the people who...
The new people who are now eligible to vote.
Get involved now, start organizing now, so that if you do political education now, by the time you get into the election, people don't have to be reminded who they're going to vote for. You know the way when you're born and you're told about God and the devil, and even right now you know the devil is a bad guy. Never met him, don't know how he looks like the devil. People didn't talk about the narrative of 2027 in that way, that you know the bad guy and the good guys. So by the time you go to the election, even if there's no one who is present, even if you've been bribed by the devil himself, so you're going to vote against the devil because you know the devil is bad. Also, remember when you choose or elect lesser evil, you're still electing evil.
Yeah, that narrative of lesser evil.
Don't go for lesser evil, elect no evil. Yeah.
Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you.
Listen, man, all the best with 2027. I know for sure we'll still have more conversations.
Yes.
Umeanza campaign ama bado?
Ishaanza pole kubonga na watu.
Yeah.
Like this one-on-one.
Yes.
Nimekuwa chase upatie your friends.
Give me this. We are also going to universities with Mic Check this year.
For real?
Yeah, we are.
I'm going to put them in your bag.
We are going to universities. Because if you think about a lot of the new guys who are joining uni currently, it means those are guys who will vote for the first time. Because they just turned 18 maybe a year or 2 ago. So we also have to encourage a lot of them to register as voters. Because you saw what happened. We expected a lot of guys would go register as voters. I looked at the numbers. There were
200,000 people. Out of a possible 8 million.
8 million.
Iko shida.
Yeah, kuna shida mahali. So we... Personally, I'll take it upon myself. So we're going to unis, and I know that's an audience that has a lot of people who vote for the first time. So it would be nice to also just remind them and let them know that we can only change these things by the ballot. It's easier to change it through the ballot.
Then in way.
Yeah, and the opportunities presents itself in the next, literally 1 year and a few months. So all the best.
Thank you so much.
Please let me know when we can do. You and Net would be fun.
It's going to be fun. Let's do it next month.
His TikTok, I like his TikTok.
He's doing Lent right now.
Okay.
Tungoje Lent iishe.
Yeah.
Ndio akwe arudi kwa mainstream. Yote amalda Lent. And he's not on Instagram. I'm abstained from Instagram and some other things.
Yeah.
When he's done with Lent, we can come.
Sasa hizi anakaa 21 Savage. Ndio wanasema wakati wanafanya watu ile kitu hapo.
You
know 21 Savage?
Yes,
he has a tattoo on the forehead. Anyway, all the best, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Please say, pass my regards to Njeri.
I'll do that.
Okay. This one you can keep.
Hiyo ni yako.
Oh, for real?
I have a physical copy. It's okay.
Thank you, bro. So next time ukiniambia sijui chapter nini, I'll know how to find it.
Bye, bro. Cheers. Chapter 4, Bill of Rights. Asante sana. This was good.
Thank you.
Asanteni sana.